It is. It's Twitch. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Anybody? World.
Oh, hi.
Welcome to what are we called again? Rolling. Rolling Thunder.
Or if you're talking to about our group name, Daniel, DM or
Rolling
DMs.
Thunder.
No, Swagger Muffins.
The Swagger Muffin.
I'm sure that will garner you a lot of respect when you enter serious situations.
Yeah, my chair's too high again. Let me just. This is as low as it can go. Okay.
Oh, I don't know what this is,
Quality
but I like it. Okay, right, focus. We're here to play D&D. It's our homebrew campaign, Liodos, and this is, I believe, episode 8. Thank you all for joining me today. And do we have any admin that we need to take care of? Any questions from anybody? We've taken care of your shopping needs. We discussed at the end of last time.
Yeah, Arcana's just after a whole bunch of booze. So as long as that, if we've got flagons or clay pots or barrels, then I'm comfortable with that. Let's go.
Okay, cool.
Wait, you love my pronunciation of flagon?
Let's move on from Joe's hilarious pronunciation of the word flagon.
What? It's not called flagon, is it?
It's
Yeah,
called a flagon. The flagon wagon.
The flag.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense.
Okay. So, a brief recap on the Swagger Muffins adventures last time.
Swagger Muffin.
The Swagger Muffins.
Alright, guys. My feelings are hurt enough.
Yes.
You may continue.
Okay. So yeah, the party was exhausted from their battle with the pale creature at the farmstead last time, and they sort of barred themselves in the farmhouse and took a moment to take stock of the situation and recover. And yeah, you're all a bit sort of, Garland was wounded and almost fell, and Truffle was a bit shaken. Lysander locked himself in his room, Jenkins guarding the door. But, the night passed without event, and the next day you all awoke, you weren't attacked or anything, and you went to inspect the scene. You found, amongst the bodies of the dead and the farm animals and the strange white creature, you found another person who'd fallen, looked like an adventurer. You found some interesting items on his person, I believe a sword and a cloak and something else. What did you find?
So we found a. Did we find the crossbow bolts? Was that somewhere else?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Crossbow bolt, and then also Lysander did a sneaky.
Lysander may have done a sneaky, but how would you know that?
So Joey knows that Lysander did a sneaky. Arcana is blissfully unaware that her friend and future lover, you don't know about that yet.
So many things we don't know. So yeah, you continued investigating. You also found in a room that you hadn't explored, which was like a shed, there was like a cloth laid out with a sort of a stone tablet with an inscription or a rune of some sort on it. When you came near it and when you touched it, it gave off the same strange sort of deadening energy that this white creature had done. You sort of cautiously took it and wrapped it up and brought it with you, I believe, along with the creature's body, which you chucked in a wheelbarrow and brought back to town. Oh, you brought it back to the temple, to Sparrow, who was the person who asked you to go on this mission quest. And this music is so... I don't know what to say about this music. But I'm going to press on. Sparrow saw what you brought, and she was confused. As confused as you guys were, she didn't know what it was. But she was very appreciative that you had done what she asked. She offered her services, any sort of healing or priestly services, and access to the library in the temple, which you all spent pretty much the rest of the day in there, looking for things. Finding some more than others information.
I couldn't find anything.
Akane was looking for something desperately, but found nothing, unfortunately.
Found a lot about animals in the animal book.
Yeah, Truffle learned all kinds of things about farm animals.
I think Lysander learned an absolute shed load about something.
Oh god, yeah. You're supposed to remind me about that. I'll tell you
Yeah,
after.
I'll keep it to him. Lysander will keep it to himself
I'll
anyway.
tell you tomorrow. I can't remember what you asked me about. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. So yeah, you after poring over the library, emerging in the dark of the evening, you also got the other seal from Sparrow, the eagle seal, which was supposed to be for an audience with the princess, and you took it to the manor where the princess was staying, and she allowed, or Syrian, her attendant, allowed one of you to enter to speak with her, and Lysander stepped forward and had a one-on-one audience with the princess and her entourage watching, and it was a little bit intimidating for him, I think.
I think that was the best outcome, though. We always use Lysander for diplomacy. Anything to do with actual other people, we just use Lysander. Rather than the goblin, the kind of drunken old woman, or the kind of hippie walking around in fur pants.
I mean, it's play to your strengths, right? But anyway,
Send in Lysander.
he requested a load of money, basically, and she was like, yeah, sure, if that's all you want. Yeah, we got loads of money. And just gave him, what was it, 1,000 gold or something? In bars and gems and whatnot. So you've got that with you. And what else did you do? That's pretty much it. Oh, apart from Lysander said a tearful farewell to Jenkins. He thanked him for his service and gave him his last payment, and that was it. He went home to his family and left you all to good old Jenkins. But now Lysander's going to have to carry his own stuff, but fortunately you do have a cart. You have a cart horse and a cart, and you've each got a riding horse, as well as all the supplies that you've bought, which we've been through. You got your food and your travelling supplies and whatnot.
Yep.
So you're ready to hit the road, basically. We'll pick up there. Unless you guys want to do anything else in town, you're on the road. You're leaving along the Dusk Trail.
Yeah, let's not mess around.
So the party, you I guess it'll probably be what happened. You spent the library, you stayed in the library, and you spoke to the princess, and it's the next day. So probably morning, midday time, late morning. You gather your horses, you say your goodbyes, and Truffle says goodbyes to Marcy, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
And got a pie, and you set out on the road. You head out west past Dahlia's trading post and give her a wave as she sees you leaving town, and you head off north, which you can see quite clearly signposted. And the Dusk Trail is a well-used, wide road that in places is a dirt road, in places has got cobbles, but it's it's a trusty road. Like, many people use it, and you can just follow it and it'll take you where you want to go. So you start heading north up this road, and it's still kind of like late summer, but you can definitely tell that the weather is starting to turn. Maybe autumn is on its way, and you occasionally see clouds or a shower of rain, or it's not as warm as it used to be in the past few weeks. The scenery is, in contrast to when you went west to the Whistling Chasm, where it was dry and rocky everywhere. It's still sort of a lot of dirt and dust, but there's trees and rolling hills with like some little farmland dotted around and little shrubs, and you occasionally see like a hawk or a bird of prey circling overhead, and it's quite pleasant. You don't encounter many people. Occasionally you might see a trader coming the other way with his wagon or something, but it's a long winding road leading you through these hills. And you're travelling for a few hours, not much has happened. Do you guys want to roleplay anything or look for anything in particular?
I'd like to just kind of understand what the group looks like in our new set out, who's riding what, kind of where we are in the party.
And that's another thing, because remember, for probably actually all of you characters, you're not used to spending a lot of time with people or in groups. I think you're all mostly loners. Durindar definitely. Truffle's always been a bit of a outcast as a goblin. I don't know about Lysander and Akane. Are they quite? Akane tends to spend time around people quite a lot. I think.
Yeah, she's happy to spend time around people. I mean, she kind of the only reason she stopped doing that was when she kind of just stopped fighting. She kind of did an armor smith, but she's used to living in towns and settlements and various sizes, so she's comfortable with people. She quite likes it actually.
Cool. So yeah, it's a weird, it's just going to be a new dynamic for you guys in town. You were sort of meeting up and maybe spending checking in on each other or going on a little jaunt and then going your separate ways. But now you're spending all day, every day together. How is that going to change your dynamic? Who knows?
Yeah, Durindar's been finding it quite odd, and he's a little bit frustrated actually because we'd spent all day yesterday looking at bound paper with writing in them that he couldn't understand anyway, and he joined the party to help people because that's his kind of his mission. He doesn't spend time around people. He's never been to a city before. So going into a town was a little bit surreal for him. So he's pretty quiet this morning on the trail, sticking fairly close to Akane, being the only person he knows well from the group, and riding his giant steed.
So I imagine we were riding next to each other, right? I think Akane is on an Andalusian horse, so white with kind of grey speckles and this big kind of grey mane. And I think she'll be pulling the mare as well with the cart. So we're just trotting, cantering along at a very, very slow speed, just chewing the fat. I've got a bit of straw in my mouth. I've kind of reached down and picked up from a nearby bush, I guess, DM. And just looking across, just kind of chewing the fat and chewing the straw literally with Durindar.
Remembering old times.
Oh, yeah.
At the festival.
Those 2 days.
Those 2 days.
So what's the travel like for Lysander and Truffle?
I think Lysander's kind of keeping to himself. Just taking in the scenery really. Just quiet. Maybe thinking about Jenkins a little bit. Just a little bit.
Aww.
But yeah, I think he's just quietly keeping to himself, but looking very regal.
And I guess Truffle has kind of been talking non-stop, but not necessarily to anyone particularly. He's been having a lot of conversations with Simon, who is his Shetland pony that he's riding, and Simon's got
Nice.
he's like a kind of tan brown Shetland pony with like a really long flowing blonde kind of locks, like a mop hair, and he has to keep on blowing the fringe out of his eyes. He's sort of trotting along, still trying to keep pace with some of the other horses, but Simon and Truffle have been having a lot of conversations. Truffle has been around the town and is used to a lot of people, but doesn't tend to talk too much to people without them walking off, usually getting bored of the conversation or thinking that Truffle's too much. Simon, however, is thoroughly invested in this conversation, where Truffle is basically pointing out every bit of flora and fauna, some right, some quite often made up, in an attempt for him to sound a little bit smarter than he actually is. That's how he has spent most of his time trotting along in the background talking to Simon.
Nice. And obviously you've got Garland with you, and he is, he's a bit bewildered by the whole thing. I think he's sort of on the back of this horse. He doesn't quite know, if he ever knew how to ride a horse. He's forgotten, and he's just sort of kind of like trying to stay on it and focus on what's going on. And he doesn't know where he is. He's just, this big open world is big and scary and confusing to him. And I think he just likes to be around you guys and have people who you can trust and rely on, I guess. It feels comforting to him.
I should probably add that Truffle has been also pestering Garland a little bit. It's those two who we've been talking to mainly.
I don't think he would consider it pestering. He would just be like quite pleasantly like, oh yeah, of course, and like, humour you. to you.
Which is precisely why Truffle is pestering him. He's never had someone so to talk to in that level of detail. And to be honest, although he's technically an adult in goblin years, the others are, to his eyes, adults who have experienced the world more than him. And so Garland and Truffle and Simon the pony, who is a local horse, are experiencing the world together through magical
I love
eyes.
the adventures of Simon the Shetland pony.
He's the actual star of the story. If Simon dies, we'll have to re-roll.
Don't.
So, actually, I just wanted to ask you guys, in terms of like, is someone like leading the way? At the moment, you're on the path, so it's not a big issue. But is someone going to be like leading? Is someone going to be keeping watch or scouting, or are you just sort of moseying?
I think I'm chewing the fat with Durandar, but I've definitely got an eye out. I'm looking for where the trail heads east. So we're heading north at the moment, and I'm aware that to head up into the Witherbark Woods near Velimar.
And you've got pretty good perception, don't you?
Yeah, it's 15, but 14 with my gammy eye. Self-imposed injury. Like every time I say that, I'm like, why did I do that?
15 is a common pass for a lot of checks, and you're just gonna skim right under it.
Yeah, I know. It's not passive. I'm actively looking though.
Okay. So
yeah, I'm looking out for danger always, and I'm looking for where the path turns east. But until then, I'm happy to engage in light conversation. Occasionally, ride around and just check everyone's okay.
Okay, if you're actively, you can just roll me a perception check for now.
Okay.
For this leg of travel. Nice. Nice. That's a 9.
That's a 9. Durandar is obviously kind of
Got your attention.
got my attention. Yeah. And all I can hear within my 20-foot radius is basically Truffle talking to Simon.
It's very distracting.
And that, yeah.
Yeah. I've been keeping an eye while we've been talking to Akane, just to see if I could see any tracks, animals, etc., that might have come across the way.
Yeah, you definitely there's plenty of wildlife. You'll see I don't know, sort of wolves wandering around and ibex and maybe some small rodents and plenty of birds of prey in the sky and that sort of thing. Things you might see in the Mediterranean dusty hills. But yeah, I mean it's at this point there's not a lot of people, but there's plenty of flora and fauna all around you.
Nice.
And at this point, I'm gonna trot on up to Lysander and say, "Hi."
Hello, Truffle. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I was just wondering how you are, because I'm going out and this is really exciting. But you're used to traveling with servants, and I was just wondering how you felt seeing as Jenkins has now gone back to his wife, and I was seeing how you're doing. You seem to be dressed really smartly.
Well, for start, Truffle, servants aren't paid, normally. Well,
Okay.
that's more of a slave, I suppose. Anyway, he's not a servant. He simply worked for me, Jenkins.
So he's a friend.
Fine, man. He's a friend, yes, I like to think so.
Do you miss your friend?
He'll be fine. He'll be fine without me.
That's not
I've
what I
tried a
asked.
lot. And how are you, Truffle?
I'm good. You seem to have dodged my question.
I will admit, I do miss Jenkins a little. Obviously, I have no one to hold all my things. It's most cumbersome now.
Yeah, it must
And
be.
who's going to prepare my bed and my tent?
Why can't you do it?
Yes, I certainly could. I used to. I have done in the past.
Do you
I'm
not
just-
know how to do it? I can show you. I'm really good at this kind of stuff.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure I can. I'm sure I can manage, young Truffle.
Okay.
How are you finding it being out in the wild?
Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna lie, I have seen so many eagles. I'm not entirely sure if they're eagles, but basically they look exactly like a picture in a book. I mean, they're really far away, but I'm pretty sure that I've seen at least 7 eagles. Like some of them are really small eagles, like that would fit in a palm. So I'm not sure if that's a different type of eagle. I only really read through a few pages. I got to it was a book on E. So I saw eagles and as elephants. I haven't seen any of those, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty common as well.
Yep, pretty common, I'd say.
Yeah. I have another question. I didn't want to ask anyone up front, but I don't actually really know where we're going, and I know you gave lots of suggestions, and I wasn't really. I was watching the eagles. Where are we going?
We're going to the Witherbark Woods. That is our next destination. From there, we're trying to make it some hill. I don't know, some hole in the ground.
Aha!
A crypt, a tomb, a place, a battleground. You know, I don't know. I wasn't listening.
It's probably why we're in the middle and never back, right?
I think I turn around at this point and I say we're heading to the Vault of Sil'ora. It's basically an old ruin in the middle of the Velimar battlegrounds. We're heading east. We're heading north until we find the track that heads east. We're going to head that east for a while. We're then going to follow it north when we see a dirt track into the Witherbark Woods. We've got to cross the woods, which is why we have Druindar with us. And then past that, I mean, we should be okay.
I think while you're saying all that, as soon as you turn around and start, I look at Truffle and I nudge him like, see?
Really good.
This is why I don't need to pay attention. Akane does it all.
She's got really good hearing.
Maybe she could be Jenkins.
And at this point, I think we're about 6 foot away from each other. I'm like, guys.
I wouldn't recommend having your bed made up by her.
Truffle,
Oh,
still hear you. Truffle, I'm here.
Hi! Hey, have you seen the eagles? There's so many eagles.
No, but I did see a eucalyptus plant back there.
Oh yeah? I'm pretty sure this is something else Oh no, that was in fauna. I only looked at flora. I only looked at fauna.
Okay, so I think this happens for a while, right? I think these sorts of chats. I imagine the group just gets quite close. Actually, it's just I think we're all just playing off each other. I think it's like friendly banter and just kind of conversations.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you have these conversations. You're traveling, and you know it's the first day of travel. You're all eager and you've got plenty of energy, and it passes fairly quickly. It comes to the evening, and the sun starts to set. And you all start to think it's probably time you should find somewhere to settle down for the night. And I'd say probably Akane, and especially Druindar, you know, you've been on the road and you know maybe what would be a good place to stop. And you find sort of a rocky outcropping or like a small sort of secluded area off the side of the road. And you lead the party into this sort of relatively shielded area. As the sun starts to set and the air starts to cool, and you all start to think about setting up camp and maybe pitching a tent or lying under the stars. So what do you guys do?
I am 100% pitching a tent. I always struggle with it though. Like it's on the ground. I'm like, looking around for anyone who wants to help. Poor old Lysander.
Truffle and Garland are sat watching all of this happen.
Garland's like looking at Truffle like, should I help him?
No. He's got to learn. He
said
said he wanted to learn.
He appears to be struggling with his task.
We all struggle sometimes.
I get quite frustrated at the fact that Lysander doesn't know how to do a tent. So I walk over to him. Are you okay?
I'm just a bit. You'll have to understand. Jenkins normally does these things, and I think it's just a bit. It's all a bit much.
I grab the flat tent and I lift up one of the sticks and the tent just pops.
Oh. Good sir, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. It's marvelous. Thank you. I kind of touch an arm. No, well, actually, I don't touch. I just go to touch an arm and I go no.
My arm recedes a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, we're both like, ugh, contact.
And I think I come up behind him and I put my arms around both of them. I'm like, look at us all getting along together. At this point as well, you've also noticed that I've been sneaking a few chugs of wine off the back of the cart. And I think,
Sneaking a few chugs of your own wine.
Yeah, I know, but I have a bit of decorum. I don't want to be seen to be
That's how
openly
drunk she
drinking.
is.
Yeah,
No
I don't want to see openly drinking several barrels of wine.
yeah.
And I lean into Garland and I say, see, he learned the gift of friendship.
I think that I understand. Yes, I am learning so much from you, Truffle.
I will actually, once the tent's up, I'm going to sit just inside of it and start ritual casting Unseen Servant. So that'll take 10 minutes.
Nice. Okay.
I'm gonna pop a tent up. I'm gonna I think, is it quite a warm night?
Yeah, I mean it's cooler than it has been, but it's still like quite. You can quite easily just sit out in the night and not be cold, sort of thing.
Yeah, so I think I'll position a tent. I think I'm gonna create a fire in the middle, but we'll position a tent to the other side of the fire. But I'm gonna leave two ends open so I can see out of it. So yeah, I think kind of we're just setting up camp really, putting it all together. Yeah, just kind of like drinking, having fun, talking, making jokes so people get stuff wrong or get stuff right.
Like flagons.
Yeah. And I think I kind of keeps offering it. Does anyone else want a flagon of wine? Flagon anyone? Flagon of wine? Flagon of wine? Just me?
Lysander will, after he's done doing his a ritual cast, he will take a flagon of wine.
And I think at that point as well, I stop you before you take a flagon, and I lift up this small tarp, and there's actually a smaller barrel, and I've bought you a kind of 6 liters of 10 gold wine.
Like posh wine.
The posh wine. I'm just like, Lysander, look, you don't want to be drinking that shit. That's only for old alcoholics like me. I guess we haven't really talked much, right? And I'm not sure how often you've been out, but I thought I'd bring you something, to remind you of home.
I think he just goes quiet for a second. He's like, "Thank you, Akane. It's very much appreciated. It saves me having to use a little magic to make it taste better."
And I'm like, "Oh yeah," I just like knowingly nod. Anytime, we're friends now, right? And look, this is only going to get more dangerous as we go out. No matter what everyone else thinks, Beatrice has set us up on a pretty dangerous task. So it's important that we have each other's backs.
You know what? I think for the things that I've been hearing, I'm going to give you guys inspiration.
Yes!
Yay!
I like it a lot.
Can I use that on my survival check?
If you want to. Remember, it's we do like a group inspiration thing, and anyone can use it, but it's more powerful. And I can't remember what all the rules are now. You can do the standard thing with it, but you can also impose disadvantage on people, or you can. There was some other stuff like you add. Oh, what was it? I'll find the rules and I'll get back to you. But
I imagine it's a bit like, in the Avengers where they all get together in the Battle of New York and they're all kind of just like group up and it circles around playing the theme music. I imagine that's like what inspiration looks like. It's just like, yeah!
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm getting way too excited about this.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think kind of Arcana doesn't really deal well with emotions either. So I think it's that kind of awkwardness where it's like,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I will look past you at my tent and I'll shout at my unseen servant, "Not there, you fool!" I just go striding over and
So what are people seeing with this obviously unseen servant? What's happening?
It's
here?
I believe it's actually invisible, so they just see like fur rugs and things just kind of being put in place as if by
Fantasia. Bum 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 bum.
I will double check though. But for me, when it appears, as it appears, and I summon its shape, it looks like Jenkins.
Oh.
But then he disappears and he becomes invisible.
Okay, here's the other things you can do with initiative. You can increase one player's initiative by 10 for one combat.
Is this all after the fact, or can we do it, or do we have to do it before?
This is like you would use normal initiative. You can just trigger it whenever, sort of thing. So you could be rolling initiative, and everyone's rolled, and you go, right, that person's getting plus 10.
Nice.
You can regain the use of one ability that recovers with a rest. Remove a failed death save or injury.
That's pretty good.
Remove an injury.
You can,
Okay.
okay. You have the DM roll twice when rolling on random effects.
Okay.
Pretty powerful.
So I think as you storm off and go to your servant, I'm like, yeah, damn fool of a servant. Like, just good to be out of that conversation. Okay, I think Arcane's not going to spend much more time going into too much detail. I think basically drinking. I'm excited. I'm on the road. I'm going to be eating some dry rations at this point. We've got quite a few going on, so I'll take one of those out of my inventory, and I'll just be ready to talk about Night Watch, basically.
Okay, so obviously everyone's eating, I assume. Take a ration out of your inventory. And what are we doing about watches? The normal 8 hour, it needs to be divided into 2s or 4s or whatever anyone's doing.
Garland and I will take first watch.
Yeah, so I imagine it'll be groups of 4, so 2 hours each, so we'll get 6 hours sleep each.
Who can't see in the dark? Maybe Arcane should take first watch while it's still dusky.
Yeah, it would still be light for the first hour or 2, I would guess.
During dark. Yeah, nice to take the last one. Yeah, so I'll take the first watch. I'll be drinking. And yeah, kind of I'll be quite active though. So I'll do perimeter walks every 15 minutes.
How long are the watches?
2 hours.
Oh, it's up to you guys. Well, normally you would do 2 hours, but I mean, like, elves can do more, can't they? Because they don't have to be asleep for as long. But none of you are elves, so I don't know why you're saying that. It's
I'm
very...
a half elf. Yeah. So 2, 4.
What time is it, DM?
What time is it? Well, I don't know, like 8, 9, something like that.
Okay. Well, by the time we go to bed at like midnight or whatever, I think we'll just take 2 hours each, and then
I will take last watch.
I'll take the middle night watch since dark vision.
You got dark vision as well, Truffle?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess after my watch then, assuming nothing happens, I come over to Truffle and Garland and I shake them awake.
How do you normally do it? Do you roll perception for everyone? It's been so long since I've done a nighttime.
No, it depends. Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
And then you can either do it as a group or I don't know, however you want to
All
do it.
4 of you roll perception.
First roll. Woo!
I'll determine if something happens, whose watch it happens on, and then we'll use that perception to let you know.
Like Sandra rolled a 1. Durandal rolled a 2.
Wow.
Why are you rolling a
Doing
d20?
really well. You can click, Charlie. You can click on your character sheet where it says perception under your skills list.
Why do these rolls look funny? They've changed them. The look of it.
Yeah, they've removed or unless it's bugging out, they've removed the outside box around
Just new roll 20 look, I guess.
or a bug.
I don't hate it. It's clean. It's neat. Okay, so yeah, you all take your watches. Akane taking the first watch as everyone settles down for a rest. The night is fairly still with the occasional flutter of wings of a bird passing by or a cricket chirping in the grass or something. But you sit there and you sip on your wine, breeze blowing across you, rustling your hair, but nothing happens. And you tag out and let the next person take their watch, and it continues like this through the night, and nobody sees anything of any note during their watch. It's a completely quiet night, and you all gain the benefits of a full rest and
Huzzah.
awaken in the morning. The first morning on the road.
So I don't think we take long to pack up the camp unless anybody wants to. I think it's just a quick get a ration in us and drink some water.
Yeah.
I will have back on the wagon.
I will have ritual cast Unseen Servant again to pack my stuff down.
And don't forget, you need to look after your horses.
Oh, I'd be big time.
You all got feed with your horses, which I believe was something in the region of 15 days worth of food.
Yep.
But you can let them graze and save days worth of food, but you do have to water them if you find we'll say, unless I say otherwise, you find water for them along the road.
Okay. Was there anywhere for them to graze last night, or was it a rocky outcrop?
Yeah, I would have said there's probably long straw like grass, but they could definitely chow down.
Okay. So I'm not going to feed my horse. I haven't named it. Don't want to get attached to it. I've lost too many horses in the past.
Yeah, I like it.
So
I don't like that you've lost horses. That's awful.
I mean, it's what happens when you're Italian with a giant shield out in front of you. Like, horses die, man. Don't remind me. So yeah, I think Akane is going to just pack up quite quickly and be ready to move. Are we still heading north until path branches out east?
Yeah, so at this point the road is sort of windy and this big wide road with stones down the side of it, but it's pretty much directly heading northwards. And it'll be obvious, you guys will have been told, or you'll know, that there's plenty of signposts along the way and mile markers that'll tell you where roads lead that branch off.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to hit some markers soon that point us towards Sindara, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Heading east would be Sindara, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, no, I think pretty good.
So you guys finish packing up your camp, and it's the first time you've done it, but it doesn't take you too long, especially with strong folk like Kane and Durindar, and Garland's there. He's just hauling stuff into the wagon that you ask him to put there, picking it up like it's nothing.
Put the wagon down, Garland. Don't pick that up.
Yeah, surprising how strong Garland is. But yeah, you all mount up and you head on your way, and the sun is rising. It's another warm and pleasant day. There's a few clouds patching across the sky. Generally, it's a pleasant summer's morning, and you head on your way down the long winding dusk trail, and I'd say probably you'd be travelling for maybe a few hours before the scenery starts to change a bit, and it's no longer like this flowing rolling hills of lush bushes and grass and trees, and it becomes more like a big open and dry, but it's got crags and mountains, and there's still occasional shrubs, and you can see things like mountain goats are crawling, climbing and jumping up these smaller mountains, things like that, and there's sort of strange trees that sort of grow out the side of them and sort of wind around, and it's different to what you've seen before, but I think probably Akane, you definitely would know, and anyone else who's travelled, this is typical Galanaran landscape that you're in now. Here you go. Have one of these.
Oh, that's pretty.
Visual
So
aids.
It's like Grand Canyon-y?
Yeah, but
Or is that
yeah.
Utah.
And that picture is not exactly how I imagine it, because there's probably more plant life, I
Right.
would say.
Right.
It's not like a dead wasteland. It's just sort of craggy, basically, dry and craggy.
Savannah. Yeah.
Savannah, yeah, that kind of thing.
Beautiful.
And it is. You can see for miles. And apart from where the mountains block your view, it's just big, open, dusty, and you can see these weird trees and occasional, a big cat prowling through the grasses or across the crags and that sort of thing. And you continue on for a ways, and maybe it gets to after midday, early afternoon, and you head off the path a little ways and you find a small lake. It's easy to see, and you take the load off. You let your horses water. You refill your canteens. And you just take in the scenery. It's a hot afternoon. The sun beating down. But it's still early days in your travel. It's not started to wear on you yet. But it is, everywhere you go, there's not many people around. It's just long, open areas. I don't know, how does that feel for you guys? Is that something you enjoy, or is it... I mean, Druindar tends to be quite isolated, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's not his favourite place. It's a bit dry, and there aren't many plants, and I imagine fewer animals and life. So he preferred where he was before. But that's okay. We're heading off to Witherbark Woods. Druindar knows that fairly well-ish. So yeah, and he kind of says to it, he kind of mentions to Akane that we're heading that way, and he wonders what he's thinking about where we are. It's quite open. We're in a pretty open space right now, which worries Druindar a little bit.
Okay.
I think Akane is just like trying to reassure you of the logic, right? Don't worry, we have tactical advantage, and we can see enemies from miles away. Nobody's sneaking up on us without actually realizing what it is that's kind of bugging you, I think. I think as well, kind of when we stop, I'll probably spend a bit of time in the back just examining Swiftfeather, the sword we got from that adventurer, trying to figure out what we do with it. Maybe she takes a couple of practice swings.
Yeah, it feels very light in your hand, and
Yeah.
are you attuned to it, or are you just holding on to it?
I'm not attuned to it. What's his face?
So when
Sousa kind of identified it for us.
Yeah, so when you're holding it, like, you can definitely feel like it's sort of like you feel a bit lighter on your feet, and it sort of swings very easily, and it's got this constant sort of hum glow to it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll probably just execute a few kind of katas from various armies where I've been taught, but I think I'm just getting a feel for it. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, really. A form of meditation, I think. But I'm generally very, very happy to be on the big, sprawling plains. I feel quite comfortable that I can see all around me.
Yeah, and it's easy ground for the horses. You're definitely going at a good pace along this land. Yeah, I mean, you finish, you pack up your things, and maybe have a bit of rations and whatever, and a chat at this lake, and you pick up and you start heading on again. And as you're heading away, you notice that just not far, but you can see it in the distance, there's a small, like a building or a house or a hut of some sort just off the road.
Interesting.
Is that Lysander?
No.
Or Adam?
That's Adam. Lysander is nonchalant as always.
So yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Well, yeah, there's a hut about, guys. We should go and check it out.
I mean, yeah, we can go past it.
Who lives here? There's nothing here.
Who knows? Let's go and find out.
Let's find out.
So you
Perhaps
guys,
a good
yeah,
perhaps a good opportunity. Maybe we can restock on what little supplies we've lost. Maybe we can do a little bit of trading. Who knows what?
That's a good point.
A little bit of socializing outside of this circle.
So you guys, yeah, you head up and over to this thing. As you come closer, it looks like it's definitely sort of like a hut, a small one-floor sort of hut with a little porch. And it's all wooden and a little bit rickety. And hanging from the awning of this like porch on little bits of like hook with a bit of string of like animal legs that have been skinned, and they're just sort of curing in the open air, like goat or pig leg or something like that. And you can see, it's just like a stool and various tools out on the porch, and it's just doors closed. But
Should we not?
really see anyone.
I dismount my horse. I tie it up to something outside, which I assume there's some railings, bars, whatever.
Yeah, it's like just like a fence that's going.
Yeah, just a veranda or whatever. So I tie my horse up and I look at the guys and I just go up and knock on the door.
Oh, eh? What? Yeah, some grumbling, and then some footsteps come up, and you sort of see this small figure like peering up through a crack in the door, like, yes.
Good day. Do you trade? Do you have anything to trade? Me and our fellow
What?
travellers are heading to Witherbark Woods, and we thought we'd come and see what you were all about. Do you live here? There's nothing here.
Travelers, eh? Yes, I could trade with you. And he sort of slowly, cautiously opens this door, and you see he is this sort of old dwarf guy. He's like got like greying hair and a top knot and this sort of scraggly goatee, and he's wearing rough sort of leathers, cut off at the sleeves. And inside the house, it's very simple. It's just like a cot and like a couple of cupboards and a table. And there's like a knife where he's been skinning something, and there's a bunch of like a little bucket with a bunch of arrows that he's whittling and a bow. And he's clearly some kind of hunter or something of that ilk. He's like, oh yes, well, if you want to trade, well, I'm always open to it with travelers. Please, you're welcome inside. There's several of you.
Hi!
These
Hello.
are my companions. We're travelling a great distance. So
Please,
if you have anything to trade, one of our travellers probably needs some more wine.
Why?
If you have anything to trade, but I'm more interested in what you're doing here, because there's nothing else here apart from you, which is strange.
Well, I don't know that I have any wine. I might have a cup of brandy if you are interested. But
All you hear is dun, and like turn around, and I've just dismounted the horse and I'm walking over, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Akane. Nice to meet you." Grab his hand, shake
like,
it.
oh, yes. You're welcome inside. It's not very big. I don't have many places for you to sit, but you're welcome. My name is Enrique, and yours is?
I tell my name as I walk past. I'm Akane, and this is Druindar.
And this is my horse, Fruindar.
Oh.
Druindar.
It's a
And
very
that's Lysander.
interesting
Trouble.
name.
The Leor over there is Garland.
He's just like, hello. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, seems some interest in the brandy. And he walks over to a cupboard and pulls out this little bottle, some amber liquid, sort of pops the cork, and you get this waft of this sweet liqueur.
Yep.
And he just starts getting a few cups out and pouring you some drink if you want any, just a small amount. It's like, oh, travellers always welcome. Well, myself, I am. You asked? Well, I am. It's no great secret. I am a hunter on the plains, and the reason you say there's not many people around. It's the perfect place for a hunter to make his living. You know,
I respect that. I respect that.
Not much competition with the game around here, and I never go hungry.
What exactly do you hunt?
Oh, you know,
I imagine you said this literally as you just strolled through the door. We're all joking, like, and what exactly is it you hunt?
it's like, oh,
Air wind.
Yeah.
I just died in your arms tonight.
What is it exactly you hunt?
just like this gruff little old leathery dwarf's like, and you are?
Lysander Lind. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I hunt a
Yes, pleasure, I suppose. Well, there's plenty of mountain ibex and the occasional jaguar around here. That sort of thing. If I'm lucky, I can get some hares, but they are fast runners, you know. Hard to hit with the bow.
Interesting.
But, I mean, what can I offer you? I can offer you some...
Fresh meat? You got any fresh meat?
I've got plenty of fresh cured meat, if that is Your
Not
thing?
cured, just fresh. I think. Have you caught anything this morning or yesterday that maybe we can take?
Yes, I have. Just was just like a half-skinned carcass on the table. He's like, yeah, pats it, like blood sort of. So yes, I was just skinning this one here. It's
It would be nice to eat fresh.
it's like some kind of deer or something that he's got.
I have been eating rations for a few days. It would be nice to have some fresh meat.
Well, I'd be happy to part with it for, the right price. That's what you're after.
Just look at Lysander. This is your part.
He's just like grinning and like patting this bloody corpse, like, hey.
And what is the right price, my man?
Oh, well, I wouldn't want to let this beautiful creature go for less than 5 gold pieces. So,
5 gold pieces, you say? Well, And how much is there? Is there a lot of it left? Can I tell if there's a lot of
right, the whole thing is there. It's just like partially
the whole
skinned.
thing? Right. Okay.
How long would that feed us for? Before it starts to get a bit funky, right?
But,
Really looking for
if
kind
you're
of
carrying raw meat along in the warm weather, maybe a maximum 2 days.
It seems like I mean, I don't think Lysander would know anything like that, but you're like, it's a lot of meat.
It's like, if you want, I can just sell you a flank or perhaps the rump.
I am fond of the rump, dear sir.
It's like, it's got like a cleaver out, like I could give you the rump.
I look at everyone. And how much would the rump be? Just the rump.
Oh, if you want the rump, 5 silver pieces.
And the rump would feed all of us, like one meal maybe?
Oh yeah, you could all have one big good meal out of the rump, yes.
That's a 40-ounce rump, nice.
It'll be like one massive, two big butt steaks shared between them.
And you got the 5 silver.
Oh yes, it was definitely a bargain. Yes.
Yeah, it does sound like a bargain. Yes, I think 5 silver is fine.
Oh well, stand back. This can get a little messy. He starts hacking it.
I think like turn around, Mike. Can anybody cook?
I mean, I can.
Truffle can cook.
I think Truffle can cook.
Truffle's outside on Simon. He's not gone inside.
I think Truffle has seen Marcy cooking in the kitchen. I wouldn't say he's an expert, but he probably knows the general gist.
The connoisseur.
I can keep us alive, and it's okay. It's like basic survival prep, but I'm not a particularly good cook, I'd say.
Truffle can chuck an egg on it, make it a meal.
From all the chickens that you brought with you.
Oh, we brought chickens with us.
Eagle eggs.
You should have. Imagine that.
Eggs every day.
Moving farm.
So much protein. Anyway, he takes your 5 silver pieces and he gives you these 2 big, huge steaks from the back of this antelope-type creature.
I stand aside as he offers me the steaks, and I look at everyone else like, I'm not touching them.
Jorinder, add 2 butt steaks to your inventory.
I've walked outside. I'm not in the house. I was not going to watch this guy hack apart.
Okay. Guess he just hands it to Akane.
Yeah,
Here you go.
I'll take it, and I'll take out some sort of like waxy kind of tarp that I have on me, and I'll wrap the meat in it.
He's like, he pulls out this little clay pot with a little cork stopper in it, and he pops it. It's like, here, you must use this when you cook it. It will be delightful.
Okay,
He
and I'll
hands you
take
this little pot of herbs.
Beautiful. And I smell it. Does it smell like herbs, or does it?
Yeah,
smell
it's like spices
get-
and herbs of some, like, Galanora
Brilliant.
native nature.
Lovely. Okay, cool. Well, I just I put that in my bag. Take the fresh steaks. I put them at the bottom of my bag, just in case it leaks. And yeah, I'd suggest we just kind of we'll go back outside. Say thank you to Enrique for the meat.
Oh, it is my pleasure. If you need anything else, I will not be going anywhere. Where are you going, by the way?
We're going to the Witherbark Woods.
Oh.
Is there anything to be aware of on the way? Anything to watch out for? bandits and the like?
You will not see many bandits in the Witherbark, but creatures of all kinds. It's a huge place. Many wild creatures and all sorts of tales from that place, you know.
Like what? Trouble's perked up a little bit.
Yeah, I imagine.
Sound, Simon.
I imagine like you walked up to him, like, but stayed on Simon. You don't dismount.
Oh, yeah, he's not dismounted. He's still on Simon. Simon's pretty much like on Simon. He's only just a little bit taller than him anyway. What stories?
Well, you've surely heard that some part of the woods is cursed, and
Cursed, eh?
I think
the corruption spreads out, but it seems from the tales that it's only in somewhere deep in the heart of the woods. And that's why they call it the Witherbark Woods, you know.
It withers.
Indeed.
I look at Akane like, what does that sound like?
Oh, yeah, and I look at like Druindo. I was like, did you know about this?
Durandal
I
would probably definitely have heard of it.
Did
yeah.
I know about this?
You would definitely have known about that sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of the tales of the curse of the Witherbark.
Is it how long has this been going on for, Druindo? Is this something that's been perpetually there, or?
I think it would have been for your lifetimes. You would all have. That's just how it is. It's not like a recent thing.
Yeah, the Witherbark has always been cursed in some way, or so the stories say.
Yeah, and
It's got this strange reputation that it's cursed, but it doesn't seem to like be the whole woods. It's kind of weird. You would expect this sort of thing to spread throughout the entire, like a disease or a corruption, but it just doesn't seem to reach the edges.
It's more of an area of effect spell.
Oh, I've got a certain stone that does the same thing. Okay, well, I think I kind of bid adieu to Enrique and say thank you for helping us out.
Gives like a little bow and he's like, "Thank you very much."
I tip my little straw hat.
Give him another bow.
Goes back to slaughtering his thing.
I mount the horse and I nod to the guide.
So yeah, you'll head back outside onto your horses and remount, head out on the road again with your bloody steaks that Akane's got wrapped up in a pack.
Oh, meat's back on the menu, boys.
Meat is back on the menu. And yeah, so you continue on the road, and it's this. The scenery doesn't change much. You see a lot of these craggy mountains, the occasional big one, and like sometimes you see one of those like flat mesa table mountains sort of type things. But on the whole, you don't see any people. No creatures or anything come particularly near you. And I would say probably it's towards the early evening time that you arrive at where the road starts to curve east, and you see a large, like a stone signpost thing with, like, you know, engraved a big arrow pointing left which says Viazzo, and a big arrow pointing right that says Siandara, and then a little thing underneath that's saying forwards to Witherbark Woods. And you can see you've got the big wide dusk trail heading off east, and then this sort of dirt path comes off it heading north and sort of winds heading off on its own in that direction. And I assume you all
Pressing on.
you follow the path, and you get on this smaller dirt path, and it seems like one that is not, it's people travel on it, maybe not too frequently, but it's definitely reasonably well used. And you head on this path for a while, and how long would it be? Maybe a couple of hours. You're heading through this, and as you're travelling, once again the landscape changes around you. At first, it's no longer dusty everywhere. You get tufts of grass and on the rocks around you, you see like moss appearing on them and that sort of thing. And soon, everywhere it's sort of like patches of grass and grassy fields and small copses of trees and bushes, that sort of thing. And the air feels less arid and a little cooler. A little breeze that sort of perks you up. And it's coming to the point where, you know, night's starting to fall, and up ahead you can see the shadow of this wall of trees all the way from as far as you can see left to as far as you can see right, just this endless wall of trees and the path sort of winding over towards it.
Perhaps we should make camp a ways away from the woods.
I would agree with that.
Maybe we can cook up those delicious steaks that we got earlier.
Yeah, sounds good. So I guess, is there any water sources around for the horses?
I would have said probably you would have encountered one along the way. You can head off like to the side and probably find a pond or something within 10-15 minutes. I would say it's easy to locate.
So I guess I'll start building a fire and start preparing these steaks. Unless anyone, I'll probably ask Truffle. Truffle, do you want to help prepare these? And kind of like I'll lay out my tarp, and these bits are a bit bloody and a little bit warm. You get a bit of tang off it, but nothing too bad, I guess.
What is in that bag of spices that he gave?
I don't know. I'll give it to you, Truffle. Why don't you check it out?
Oh,
I would like to.
Sorry, I forgot to say that as you're heading up towards the path goes through like a little mini canyon, and in this canyon there's like, what do you call it? Like a building that you check in at. Checkpoint. Yes, that's the word. A checkpoint, like a little sort of archway going over the top, and this stone squat building at the side.
Does it look occupied?
From, I would say, if you're approaching from a distance, you couldn't tell.
Oh, well, in that case, I would suggest the guys that we go and have a look at this building and see if there's anybody there, and if so, we might be able to stay there for the evening. I certainly wouldn't camp in Witherbark Woods if we can avoid it.
Agreed.
So I guess...
Pro tip: tell the players when you roll random encounters. Anyway.
Okay, so I pack up the steaks, and I guess I just get back on. I was a bit excited. I think somebody's pointed out that there's a checkpoint up ahead, and I kind of remember it from my past now, but it was a long time ago since I've been here. So yeah, I guess we jump back on our horses and head towards the checkpoint.
Yeah. Okay. So you head down, and the path isn't like very deep. It's maybe like 15-20 foot, like drop down this little mini ravine, and you head in, and you head to this small. It's like a square stone building. And what's happening to my?
How big is it roughly?
Maybe like 20 foot, 25 foot squared. And there's like a stone wall with like this gate, you know, an arch and a wooden gate that's sort of blocking the path.
Okay. Guess we trot up and.
And there's no door to the building on this side.
Is there a window?
You can see there's like little slits.
Cooey!
Cooey, hello! So you walk up and you call out, but there's no response in the building or anywhere.
I'm gonna look up. Do you see anything up?
Yeah, you look up on the sides of the rock and you just see, you know, a few occasional tree or shrub on top of the building. You can see like at the tops of a few crates that are stacked up there, but there's no.
Sorry, from where we are, can we see a door?
So you can see the gate. So there's like building here with like a wall, and there's a gate in the middle of this wall, but there's no door into the building.
I dismount the horse and I just go and I shake the gates
Whoa, good. Durandal starts shaking
hello?
this gate.
Is anybody there?
There's no response, but as you're shaking the gate, you realise it's not locked, and it just sort of you let go, and it just swings open. You can see on the other side there's like a on the right you've got stairs going up and like a door that goes into the building. There's like a little empty like wheelbarrow or wagon, and on the left there's like this little tarp awning with a couple of sticks propping up, and the remnants of like a campfire just in the middle of the area, but you don't see any people. No response to your calls.
I assume the campfire has long since gone out, or is it still kind of smouldering? Or
Yeah, so you go up and you check the campfire, and it's clearly not. At least not today. It's definitely not warm at all. It's completely cold and just ashes.
Where is everybody else at this point?
I think I would have tried through the gate after you, slowly, I'm sure. Just very slowly, cautiously.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look back and I look for where Akane and Truffle are.
Yeah, so I come trotting through as well. I've left the cart where it is now, so I'm just on my horse, and I've unclipped my shield umbrella off the back of my horse where it's sitting horizontally, and I've kind of cocked it onto my shoulder.
I can't see Truffle. Where is he?
Truffle's trotted.
Okay. I walk up to the door on the right and
Yeah, and it's just a simple wooden door with a couple of iron bands across it. And the door rattles, and then sort of just slowly, again, it's not locked, it just swings open. And you see inside, it's this, it's just one room, one floor, and it's just like a small, what's going on there? Just a small like guard post or something. There's like a little cabinet where they might keep their gear, and like a few stools, and a table, maybe like some old playing cards looking a bit worn, and like some burnt down candles. And yeah, it's not really much in there. Just like a couple of empty crates with like the lids taken off, just sitting there empty. It's just like an empty room, basically.
Okay. I call out to the others. So there's no one here. Does somebody want to go and check the other side?
So yeah, I guess I'll trot round to the other side and just see. I think at this point I'm starting to feel like this might be a good area for us to camp. I mean, I'm a little confused that there's no guard presence here. Have I been here in the past, and would I know that it's been occupied? There's 5 questions for you.
I mean, I don't know that there would be any reason that Akane would have been down this way before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would Durandal have been down this way before?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, and was it manned in the past?
Roll me a history check.
I'd love to. Bear with me.
Doesn't bear with you. For some reason, my roll 20 is.
And that is a.
Screwing
Is
up.
it a 12 or is it a 1?
That's 12.
It's a 12.
So, Durandal, he's been down here a few times, and I think he would be fairly confident that it's not in use as a checkpoint. Sort of like you get there and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I've been here before. Yeah, this is. I don't think I've ever seen anyone here manning it.
Okay, so I said to the guys, why don't somebody go and check the other side? It wasn't manned the last time I was here, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's nobody here at the moment. But if someone goes and checks, that'd be good.
Yeah, so I think I just trot round on my horse to the other side, expecting nothing. What do I see?
Sorry, where are you going to?
Yeah, the other side. Just kind of like, is there 2 entrances in, or just 1 entrance in? I'm just gonna go. I'm trying to do a circuit around the building.
Isn't it gate, guardhouse, and then the way to the guardhouse is like only on one side of the gate.
Oh, I thought there was
So the
a
guardhouse is
building.
at the side
Okay.
of the road, and there's just a wall with a gate across the middle of the road. So you've gone through the gate, and you go around to the right. There's the guardhouse. To the left,
And is it-
there's an awning with just some stuff in it.
Oh, there's an awning. Yeah, but there's no one there clearly.
There's no one there yet.
Okay.
So I suggest we make camp here.
I agree.
Oh, my roll
Yeah.
20 is working now. Sorry, it was bugging out for a second. Oh, I was so panicking while you guys are doing that role playing.
Right, okay.
Carry on.
So I guess I'll try and start a fire. I'll look for some wood inside the house. Something that we can burn. Like
You
some
could probably
crate.
break up the crates and burn
Yeah.
them, or maybe like an old chair or something. You probably, or the table if you wanted to. Plenty of dead
Yeah.
old wood.
Cool. So I think I'll be breaking some stuff up using my kind of folded umbrella, but it's gonna be quite noisy. It'll be like.
Are we expected to sleep in here this evening?
Would you rather sleep outside?
I'd rather have my own space. Is there room for my tent?
Well, you're more than welcome to pitch your tent outside, Lysander.
So there's also like you could take the stairs up
Upstairs.
onto the roof of the building. It's just like
Or
an
on
open
the
roof.
There's a roof in this. There's a roof in the guardhouse. If you prefer to go up there.
Is there room,
Or the
room
bubble.
for my tent inside the building?
Inside, you want to build your tent inside the building.
Yes, I like my own space.
Okay.
Like a fort, like you're a child with a pillow fort.
Yeah.
Is there enough room for my tent inside the room? 25 foot? I don't know how big a tent is.
12 by 12 normally.
I mean, you could probably fit a couple of tents in here if you wanted to. It'd be a bit snug.
I don't care about everyone else's tent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Lysander, there isn't a lot of room in this room, so I would suggest you either sleep in this room with us, or you could pitch your tent on the roof or outside, because tents are generally used outdoors.
Yes.
I think that's fair for the rest of the group.
I see what you're saying. I understand.
I hear the words that you're saying.
Excellent, good. So would you like some help with your tent? I'm more than happy to set it out for you on the roof or outside.
Well, I was thinking I'd point in the corner. I was thinking this corner, perhaps. And I kind of look back a little. Oh, the roof. The roof is fine.
Excellent. Come on, I'll take you up and I'll help you with your tent
Thank you, darling.
if you need it.
So I think
Perhaps
I think
my
it is-
servant could do the job.
Sorry.
Welcome. Perhaps my my unseen servant could help, but I'd certainly welcome the company.
No, even better. More than happy for you to have used the unseen servants to do that. I'll come up with you.
So I think after breaking down, I'm trying to break down these crates, but I think I asked for Garland and Truffle's help breaking these boxes up, and I think we're gonna start a fire, right, Truff?
Yeah. I'll attempt to break with. I'm assuming. In fact, I'm not even assuming. With very little success. But I'm gonna take my dagger and start whittling away at the crate. Chipping. I'm making kindling.
Nice
effectively.
kindling. Yeah.
So between us, I mean, Garland's like smash, smash, smash.
Just pulls like bits and just rips them apart.
Like Captain America with a log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're outside. Is there any cooking apparatus inside, like a pan or?
I brought a pan with us.
Oh, nice. Okay, beautiful.
Brought it's like a wok pan,
All the gear and no idea.
like
Okay.
a paella dish.
Like a giant saute pan.
So I guess we set up inside then, and I'm looking for a surface just where I can kind of cut the meat into like. Does Garland eat?
Nope.
No. So cut the meat into kind of four portions, and I guess I'm just kind of. I've given Truffle. I've given you the spices as well.
Yeah.
you-
Can I ascertain what they are?
Yeah, it's probably like a bit of paprika and pepper and maybe like, I don't know, oregano, sage, something like that.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Just a mixture of those sorts of things.
So I guess I'm passing as I kind of free up these bits of flank. I'm kind of passing them across to Truffle.
Who is quite a dab hand at a blade and is using sweet chef moves with his dagger. Chopping him up. Yeah, finely ground. No pestle and mortar needed.
So I want you both to roll me a survival check.
Oh, good. That is, I think,
25 for
Oh,
me.
shit.
it's a 4 for Truff.
Truffle seems to be really struggling. He's like being really flamboyant with his blade, but thanks to Akane's knowledge and steady hand, together they managed to make pretty good job of cooking these
A good rub.
these steaks.
Nice. And imagine we're just like, yeah, so after we've prepared it, we're just like cooking it over the fire that's outside that we've recreated.
Can I roll can I roll performance to see how in sync we are with our preparation and cooking? Whether we can kind of like pass on one and the other person catches it and goes on to the next one.
Are you trying to ratatouille?
I'm ratatouilleing.
If you really want to.
It's
Yes.
23 right now.
Yeah, it's like a sight to behold with these
Oh,
two.
no!
These two.
That's a 4
Oh,
for Akane.
Akane's
Oh,
perfect. Akane's like fumbling and like knocks over the spices, but Truffle's like reaches out and catches it, and like flips it over and starts and then flipping the steaks in the pan and stuff.
But I imagine I'm cooking them properly, right? So I know how long each side. And as I'm doing it, Truffle will flip it over like. And I'm
yeah,
like,
you've
no,
got no
it's
showmanship.
He's like making the flames go up and like it's big. And you're like, no, stop it!
no, stop it! And I'm like turning them back.
Salt Bay.
I think, but
Cooking montage theme.
I think it's quite fun, right? We're laughing and stuff while we make this. So I think you
Oh.
guys upstairs, you can hear that, and we are having fun.
We've all got like a little bit of flour on each other's noses.
One of my dreadlocks is just singed. Yeah.
Oh my
I think
god!
I'll look down at one point and I'll just look back at Drew and Darren and just shake my head. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
What have we become?
The butt cheeks are served.
I should be in my private apartment while I'm here.
Okay,
Right.
so you'll
Should we
finish
eat?
your delightful meal prepared
Is it
equally
delightful?
delightfully. It's pretty good. Between you do a good job of it, and I think everyone is. You know, it smells amazing as it's cooking, and you will enjoy this fresh meat as a change from your dry rations. And you all turn in for the night, and we're doing the same watches as before.
Before we do, everyone's chatting and we're all eating, and suddenly, Zone of Truth!
Ooh.
What?
And I cast Zone of Truth on my compatriots.
Isn't it on an area? Could you paste the spell, please?
It's a 60-foot range and a 50-foot
No.
radius
Yeah.
that we are
There's
eating
a
in.
splash effect.
Yeah.
Verbal and somatic.
Yep.
So you're just like, hey guys, or do you use your lute, like your flute to play?
Oh, this is brilliant. Let him finish this. I'm loving.
I'm leaving
it.
out.
So yeah, you guys are all just like you're finishing conversations. You're thinking about turning in for the night, and Trevor suddenly starts going, and you all feel suddenly a compulsion, and you need to make wisdom?
You
Charisma
need
saving
charisma
throws.
saving throws, please.
I don't know where he's
All
going
of
with
you.
this, so we'll find out soon.
Lysander fails.
Oh shit.
Akane fails.
This is brilliant. Oh well, I need a beer. Keep going.
Garland gets 13.
How
Garland
do I roll a
fails.
charisma?
Charisma
Click
saving
charisma
throw.
saving throw.
Oh, saving throw.
It's up top under proficiency bonus.
Under proficiency bonus. Oh yes. Saving throws. Which one?
Just click it.
Charisma.
Charisma, yeah.
The charisma.
Oh yes, of course. All right. Okay, cool.
So
That's
yeah,
excellent.
okay.
I'll
Everybody
leave the room.
fails. You all suddenly, you don't necessarily know what's happening, but you're like, what? But you feel a compulsion. If Truffle says anything to you, you feel compelled to tell him the truth.
Dorinda,
Yes.
why don't
Yes.
you wear a shirt?
So, an unaffected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie.
Well, I don't wear a shirt, Truffle, because I've never needed to.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. No reason why. No reason why. So, Akane, I'd like to know, who would you most like to bang in this group?
Oh my god.
I'd like to know why you just cast. Is this a truth spell?
Hey, you're compelled to answer my questions.
You know whether each creature.
Compelled to tell the truth, but you're not compelled to answer.
Yeah. So I'm not answering. I'm not answering the question.
I just want to know. I just want to know why you don't want to answer my question. What are you hiding from?
I'm afraid that I will say something which will upset you guys and make you look at me in a different light.
Do you want to have sex with Lysander?
I don't want to answer that question.
Garland looks over at you and he's like, why are you doing this, Truffle? Do you not
Yes,
trust
Truffle.
us as your friends?
1 second. Such a creature can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the bounds of the truth. Doesn't mean you can't just say, I don't want to answer. You have to answer. That's why it's called Zone of Truth.
It says it is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions, to which it would normally respond with a lie.
To which it would normally explain with a lie.
Yeah. So if you said what color is this pen and it was blue, I could be like,
You can't say, I don't want to answer.
Well, in that situation, you could say, well, it's not green.
oh yeah,
Correct.
okay. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say,
So I would
No.
say, do you want to have sex with Lysander?
and I wouldn't say no to sleeping with Lysander.
My
Garland is getting more agitated now. He's like, I do not understand. Why is this? Why are you doing this?
Yes, Truffle.
Truffle, I thought you were my
Fine,
friend.
but most people, when I talk to them, they tend to lie. And I'm traveling with you guys, and I want to know that all of you are truthful and honest.
I will get up from my chair and go, this is disgusting behavior, and I will walk out of the room.
And that is why I cast it.
Garland gets up, stands up, and he looks down at you, and he just shakes his head, and walks off, and stands on the other side of the wall.
And Truffle says, that is exactly why I did it. I knew I couldn't trust you guys. And Truffle then goes off and hides in the corner.
I didn't move from the room. I stayed in the room eating my ration.
Drew just like,
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah.
I look good with that shirt on, baby.
I was like, and I think I stayed within the circle. I'm like,
I just turn to Truffle and say, if you have any more questions, Truffle, and spit them out. And I carry on chewing on my dry ration while you lot are eating steaks.
The problem I have is not the question. It's a fact that you weren't willing to be honest. Druindar, you are the only person.
hey, I'm still here.
You avoided my questions. You didn't answer them.
Yeah,
You
my
had the
question was
opportunity.
easier.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, you had the option to, and you chose to evade it. I
Yeah.
can't trust any of you, and then I go off. I leave the room.
And I turn to a car now. I'm like, that was weird.
Yeah. That was very
Gotcha,
weird.
yeah.
But we're still in the circle of truth, by the way, right? So
Yeah, you're just sitting there in it, like,
you're
yeah.
still in it. You guys can talk to each other as much as you like. You have to. Yeah, you're still in zone of truth.
He is a small man, and I've never seen a man that small before. I can't quite understand why he's so small, but he is. He's like a child, but a man, and I don't understand it. But he...
I've seen goblins before, but the last 15 goblins I see, I smashed to a pulp with my umbrella.
I don't have an umbrella.
No, you don't.
What is happening?
No, you don't have an umbrella. My umbrella is magical. I crafted it.
Oh my god. Amazing.
That's amazing. I love it.
We should probably get out this circle, Durandar.
I'm quite happy. I don't mind. I'll stay in the circle and I continue to eat my dry ration, feeling a bit weird.
I'm not happy, but equally I'm curious as to see what's coming out. Will come out.
I just kind of say, how's that dead animal treating you?
It's okay. It's definitely not the best meal I've ever had. But then again, I cooked it.
But do you not feel guilty for eating it? What are you giving back to the earth by eating this?
I never really considered it.
You should.
What's happening?
I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean,
Truth.
you're not currently going to bed and taking watches. You've all
My veganism is taking over.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I think we step out, and I think, just feel this weight lift off us. But that was quite curious. I enjoyed that.
So I think Lysander will leave the room. How high is? I suppose. Yeah, I would go to my tent up on the top. I have no idea whether it is 15 foot away or not, and I'm still in the sphere. But that's what he would do.
I follow Lysander up to the roof. Not secretly, you know. I follow him up to the roof and I cast Druidcraft to understand what the weather's going to be like for the next 24 hours. DM, if you could describe what that is like for me, that'd be great.
Warm.
It's what?
Warm and breezy.
Overnight? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know what Druidcraft tells you, but that's what you're going to get.
That's fine. No, that's fine. That's absolutely perfect. Yeah. So, so my hands kind of sizzle a little bit, and I don't know whether Lysander's noticed or not, but and then this like orange orb appears in my hands, and then under a gust of wind kind of blows the orb to the side, and it kind of fades off. So I just say to Lysander, I said, you know, I know you wanted to sleep in the house, but I've checked the weather. And it's looking warm with a light breeze from the east. So you should be fine up here.
He wouldn't respond, he'd just go straight into his tent and you see him just like buttoning it up to close it.
Okay, I walk downstairs grumbling.
And I think I just teased Durandar. Don't worry about Lysander. He kind of likes his privacy at night.
Clearly.
It's not you. So yeah, guess first watch on me. Unless you fancy some more time in the Circle of Truth.
I don't mind, man.
Kind of reminds me of the time when we met.
I know, that was so true.
That was weird.
That was weird.
We should never do that again, ever.
No, we should never do that again. So let's just go to sleep.
Yeah, okay. So I'll take first watch.
Okay, what are the order? What's the standard order of watches we're doing?
I'm second watch after Akane, I believe.
And then Truffle.
Lysander is last, but Lysander will not be taking his watch.
And Truffle will also not be taking his watch because he's a sulky little teen.
Garland will take both of your watches.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say what Lysander will do is he will use Atticus, my familiar spider, to semi-watch around while I stay in the tent.
Okay.
Okay.
So, perception checks for the watchers. That's 2.
That's a 10 for me.
It's a 9 for me because it's -1.
Oh, so it's...
Actually, no, it's not -1. It's not -1. Yeah, I don't know how kind of my gammy eye works with my wisdom modifier.
Just
got
get, I don't know, -1 to your perception checks, right?
Yeah, 9.
Is that your spider ability?
14 for Atticus.
Okay. So, yeah, you all turn in for the night. Lysander buttons himself up in the tent, and everyone is sleeping in their various places. Garden probably goes into the building and just sort of leans against the wall in the corner, just powers down. And Akane sits out by the fire as the darkness of the night encroaches, watching the embers flicker and fade. And after about an hour or so, she starts to hear something. A movement. And Akane's always, she's an old, seasoned warrior. She's used to, being on watch for things.
Back to the fire. Don't stare at the fire. Really night vision.
Yeah. But she doesn't see anything. She looks around. She's like, I don't see anything. What's going on here? And then she hears this sort of sound. And it just keeps persisting. And she gets up, sort of, just looking around. She's like, what's that sound? You're looking around to see if there's someone around. You don't see anyone in the dark. And then you have your shield with you, and you're like, you're ready for something to happen. You're not quite sure what's going on. And then out of the darkness, some shadows start to loom. You can just start to make them out against the flame, and you hear this of insectoid mandibles approach.
I think I go for, if I'm allowed, I think I will go full Super Saiyan at this point.
I will allow you like an action, and then we're going to be probably.
So I'm gonna burst into denial stance. So also just like, and just this vapor starts coming off me. My eyes go white, and I just shout, "We're being attacked!" as loud as I can, facing out into the darkness.
I'm assuming I can hear this. Can I hear this?
With that, we're going to be moving into initiative, but I think we'll take a quick break. So it's 9:30 at this point, and we'll come back.
So tease.
Also going to need to set up the map quickly.
Set up a map.
So yes, we will enter.
What is it with you and the predator noises? Don't like it. Clickety clickety click click.
Clickety clack. Apologise. But anyway, we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes with some battle in the night.
Pew pew pew.
Team white.
And we're back from our little break. Akane has been having the first watch of the night, and she's seen something, some shadows approaching in the dark. And I shall put you on a new map.
Oh damn!
Everyone else, you've just heard Akane. Oh no, Akane's outside. Put yourself by the fire if you can. Akane's just yelled out. What did you say? Wake up or something? We're under attack.
Wake up, we're under attack.
Wake up.
Lysander's on the roof, I believe. Everyone else is inside, I would assume. Just if you don't want to be in that particular base, you can move yourself around. But we will roll. Now I'll give you one action before we roll initiative. Everyone.
I as soon as Akane shouts, I am awake, like I wasn't asleep. I feel alive. My eyes start to fizzle and blood go bloodshot. And I stare at Akane and I assume he looks back and I just nod at him like, yeah, I'm ready. This is my thing. This is what I'm good at. Let's go to war. I don't take any actions.
Garland steps out next to Akane, like fists ready, like.
Oh yeah, this music is so epic.
This is so epic. I got so excited when it came on.
Lysander will make sure that his face is on,
What do you make up?
but stay in his tent.
And what you guys see, and now that all of you are outside apart from Lysander, is in the light of the fire, these creatures, they're like, 6 foot tall humanoids. But they are like, almost, they've got these ant-like faces, and they're sort of got bits of, like, rugged armour, and they've got these sort of big bronze swords, and a couple of them have got shields and bows. And over on the ledge over here, you can see there's one with like a staff. He looks like maybe some kind of mage. And yeah, they're sort of like ant people, basically. And we're going to roll initiative. Let's do it.
Oh, that's a swing and a miss there.
That's a big old 20, boy.
That is a 17 for me.
Oh, I've got some double initiatives on here. Oh, that's last
13
time.
for me. Obviously not that alert.
I've got 7, I've got a 20, I've got a 17. Oh, why's that not worked?
Oh, it says I didn't put a token.
Yeah, reselect your token and roll it, and I'll give you a 17 again.
Reselect my token.
So click on your token and then
Click
press
on my
it.
token and then press it.
Yeah.
And then click initiative, yeah.
And then click initiative.
One of those quirks of roll 20. Oh, you've got an even better one this time. Too bad.
Boo!
I've chugged this chug before.
It's about the only royalty-free music that I found that I was like, yeah, this could actually work. The rest, I was like, this is just like Final Fantasy Holocaust.
Ah, that's why this is royalty free.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so what's going to happen first? I would think this guy over here is the first to act.
Jesus, they're rolling 20s and 19s. Ridiculous.
There are loads of them. You smash their little lamb brains.
He goes for an attack with his longbow. No, he's got not a longbow. He's got a light crossbow at the nearest target. Truffle. Does that hit you?
Yikes! It does not.
So this bolt whizzes past and thunks into the ground next to Truffle. And the other one over here takes a shot at Garland. And it does hit. Does 2 piercing damage. And it just sort of like ting off a garland, barely even scratches him. He's just like
Isn't he vulnerable to piercing?
vulnerable to bludgeoning. He's resistant
right,
to
yeah.
piercing.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, he's just like, is that all you got, son?
No, not him.
Lysander.
Lysander's still in his tent. He will. I will free action take off my bed attire.
PJs.
Just rip out your PJs.
Well, no, more of this area, my sleeping stuff, and I will use half,
Cucumber mask.
yeah, cucumber mask. I'll use half my movement to stand up and get out of my tent. So 5, 10, and see. Oh dear. And I'll look around, see these guys are being hassled. So then I'll step over to here, and I will cast Hex on this one over here. So I will bonus action
Okay.
Hex, and I will give him disadvantage on Wisdom saving throws. So I'm currently concentrating. I'll just use the
that could be
spell to
hex.
concentrate.
Wisdom. Okay.
Yeah, Wisdom saves, and then I will point my cane. Expelliarmus! Classic Black Bolt.
Okay. Are you shooting the same guy?
Yeah,
He has got
I'm guessing that's a miss.
15 AC.
Yeah. So I'm still bleary-eyed. It fires off to the side.
Yeah, so his black hands come clawing up at him, but he manages to move out of the way as your bolt goes wide. And then it is his turn to act. What's he going to do? Oh, what can he do? Past me, what did you do to this thing?
How do I kill you?
Okay, he is going to use... Yeah, he sort of starts waving this big staff around in the air and then points at you guys, and suddenly
Oh,
Yeah,
son of a gun.
your vision starts to blur and a cloud of fog enshrouds you. So we'll put it like, was it 20?
Yeah, 20-foot radius.
A
So it's
radius.
a 40-foot circle. Holy crud! That's
How do you do
like,
circles? Oh, hold Alt for circles.
Oh yeah.
There you go, you got a gigantic circle of fog.
It's oh my god.
That's close enough.
Crap.
God, that just screws up everything I was gonna do.
So yeah, you guys, you can see like shapes there, but you can, it's hard to see through it. What does it actually do? It gives you heavily obscured. Okay.
So that's what, disadvantage?
Yes, disadvantage on attack. It's like being blinded, basically.
For them as well, right?
We can't see into it.
Yeah.
And Druindar, you're up.
My eyes are now full on red. There's no white left.
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty angry about this fog. Can't really see much. And then my hair starts to kind of start to sizzle, like shake. No one can see it. There's a fog all around, so I'm a bit disappointed about that too. And then this like roar and these claws come out from my fingers, and I'm immediately like covered in fur. And I engage rage.
Engage rage.
Engage rage. Being that we can see the creatures to some extent, I race towards this creature here, and I take a swing at him with my greatsword. Am I at disadvantage in the fog?
I'm just going to
can I
Google
see it?
quickly fog cloud melee because I'm not quite sure how it works.
He would have disadvantage disadvantage?
I think it would be disadvantage. I don't know if it's because you're like literally right next to something, but let's just see if we can get a quick answer.
I mean, you can swing at an invisible target at disadvantage.
Yeah, I was of the ilk of we can't see it, so it's disadvantage.
Yeah, so you can attack with disadvantage, basically, as though you were blinded.
It suffers the blinded condition. There you go. That's from the
Okay. So speed's 30. I need a 5 meter block, something.
5 foot squares.
In which case, I get to this guy and realise I can't see him very well, and my vision's a bit blurry. So I move to the side and out of the fog, so I have a clear sight of this guy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you can see clearly there. Like obviously you can see the wall of fog, but you're in the clear where you're standing.
I look back at my compatriots and hope that they will be okay.
See the
I mean,
bustle
it
of
was
shadows
sort of-
within.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that because the music was epic. And I take a swing at him with my great sword, for which I need to press great sword. Or do I need to do something else first?
Yeah.
Press great sword, it rolls
Yeah, if
hit.
you make an attack roll, yeah, it should do an attack roll for you.
She looking.
That is a hit. That's a hit. That's 20.
Which roll?
And then I click the 2d6 plus 3 slashing button.
You click the greatsword button underneath.
The word greatsword and what you just rolled
Greatsword. On what you just rolled.
in the chat log underneath there. on the literal
so
word
click-
there. No, in the chat log, not in your
In the
character
chat log,
sheet.
you say the word greatsword. Click that.
Great sword.
In the chat. In the chat. You
Oh,
got
I
your.
see!
Yeah. There
There
you
you
go.
11.
Okay.
I plunged my thing in my great sword into his
What's your rage damage? Is it
plus
2?
So that's 13.
So yeah, you see during he rushes out of this fog, the shadow. You probably hear the as this massive sword thunks into this thing, and you probably like literally gouge right into its chest, and it sort of flops and almost fell out with one swoop, but it sort of manages to keep itself up just about. Anything else from Durindar?
No. I stay there.
Kane.
Staring at him.
Okay, so I am going to run to the gate and attempt to, and I probably would have looked at this beforehand, right? So I just want to make sure this is right. Is there some way I can lock it? You know, kind of like you see in like movies where there's two handles and you can stick something through it.
Definitely, yeah. On this side of it, there's like a grooves for a slat of wood or something.
Yeah, awesome. So I run across and I kind of look for a slat of wood. If I can't find one, I'll use a torch or something improvised in my backpack to try and lock the gate off. So that's kind of like...
There's probably, I would say, from when you were smashing up wood for the fire, there's probably a couple of planks lying around you could use.
Cool, so I pick one up. I guess I spend my action just kind of locking the gate down.
Okay.
What I'd then like to do is I run to the edge of the fog here, so that I'll be the first person that I bump into, and I guess I'm fucking glowing, right? So probably towards the edge of the fog.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like you can see me. And I think I give a warrior shout at the same time. Just like, come on!
And you just hear this sort of like chorus of clicking mandibles around you. Some strange insectoid language.
And I let him go.
Okay, so what can this guy
Next.
do? God, I've got too many different types of enemies. What am I doing to myself?
Oh.
Oh god.
Oh.
An hour
This is
cloud.
a Circle of Sorrow move.
So this guy steps through, just casually steps through the fog, and this swings at you with this big, heavy longsword. 18.
Oh,
Any disadvantage?
Nope.
He's still got to. No. What? Why not?
So that's me. It's beat it, right? That's a hit. My arm AC is 18.
5 slashing damage.
-1 for unrivaled resilience.
So yeah, this thing just comes in, just hacks at you, but it just all it does is dissipate your protective aura that you've got.
Yeah. So I've got my temporary hit points going on from this aura that's kind of just built around my skin.
Yeah, and it's weird. It seems like he can just casually walk through and he sees you, and it's not, the fog's not disadvantaging him in any way.
Cock handle balls.
Almost like
I
he's
guess
some
I just
kind
tilt
of
my head.
insectoid creature who doesn't need to see things.
I think I just tilt my head, curious.
And then it's and then a bolt from behind you whizzes past your ear, but doesn't connect. Truffle, you're up. What do you do?
Can I run up onto that? See if I can show it for people. Can I run up onto this?
Yeah, it's only like maybe
Yeah.
a few foot high.
Okay, so I'd like to jump. And then my next question is, can I see the fellow outside? Can I see this chap?
From there, no.
Ah. Okay. I am going to. I'm going to cast Bane on only 2 creatures because I can't cast it on a third. On this fellow and this fellow. So that is a wisdom charisma saving throw
Charisma saving throw.
to be played. It's a fail. And a fail.
So both.
So, D4 on negative D4 on all of your attack rolls and yeah, damage. Attack rolls.
There we go. Right.
Attack rolls and saving throws. Sorry, for those 2 chaps. And then that is my turn.
Okay.
Done. So.
Ooh, what is this guy gonna do? I think. Yeah, I think he'd probably try and attack Durindar. And he will attack you with his sword from behind. So, 15.
You muted, Shirley.
shit, sorry. Yeah, my armor, AC 16.
So yeah, you sense this guy coming in and the blade almost grazes your back, but you manage to just dodge out of the way of it.
I laugh at him.
Who can this guy see? Nope. Oh, you can only see Durindar. Okay. But then you feel a crossbow bolt. Ah! That's 4 piercing damage to Durindar.
Does that include resistance? I have resistance.
That's before resistance.
before resistance.
Yeah. So 2 damage.
Yeah.
And then we're back to the top of initiative.
Was that first guy? Was this first guy the guy who cast the fog?
It was this guy up here.
Aha! Okay.
So,
reason.
Great.
What do these guys do? I think he would head over here. And also try and attack Akane. 20.
Ooh. How come they're rolling with advantage?
They have pack tactics.
Powers.
Because reasons.
They have pack tactics, and he's within 5 foot of an ally.
Tactics.
Tactics. Nice.
Tactics.
Okay, that's a hit.
That's why I was thinking, oh, what would he do? Okay. So that's 4 slashing damage, or 3 for you.
So this is my last temporary hit point, and then 2 points of my health. Yeah.
What's your health?
Can't reveal that.
And that guy
it's
is going to
better.
attack Durindar for a 21, which will be 7, so that's 3 damage for you, Durindar. This guy attacking you. And just like, you've got a guy in front of you, a guy behind you, someone shooting you in the back with a bolt.
What about
It's,
Garland?
Huh?
Sorry, this music is quite loud. Can you guys speak up, please?
Is that better?
Let me turn it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I can remotely control the volume or whether you guys have to do it.
So, did someone say something, or should I move on?
What about Garland?
Oh, did I not put him in the... Oh, man.
I don't know.
I'll give him a free turn now, and I'll roll initiative for him.
You've literally got a shitload of stuff going on.
I imagine Garland as well processing the scene. He's just like, duh, 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 duh. And then once he's like, almost like it's like in Neo, once he's kind of been downloaded with Jiu-Jitsu, I know Kung Fu. I imagine him being like, my friends are under attack. Shit.
So he's going to take a free turn now, and then we'll put him into the initiative where he is now. So he will do a punch on this guy. 22, 6 damage. Just runs up next to you, Duran, and you hear a crack of this chitin plate as you turn around and you just see the shadow of Garland reaching out, punching this thing in the chest.
I see him do it, and I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on to the Magi guy. So what's he done? He's got Hex and he's got Bane.
Yeah, he does.
So what can he do?
That's a disadvantage in a default, right?
Here he points at. He starts chanting again. He points at Truffle, and
Oh.
this orange form coalesces into like an arrow shape and then fires at you. But the initial bolt misses. But I believe it does some splash damage. Is that right? Sorry, it's not got. There's the information. Oh, there it is. On a miss, the arrow splashes for half as much damage as it would have done. So.
Can I use a reaction?
Yes. What are you doing?
I would like to use cutting words.
Okay.
No. Yeah. So what is that? How much damage? Yeah. So I'm going to use a bardic inspiration die and subtract the number from the creature's roll. No, can't do that. It's a yeah. So ignore me. I'm working the things out in my head. I don't do anything.
Is it attack rolls rather than?
Yeah.
damage?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the first number, so it's 11 rounded down, so you take 5 acid damage as this arrow splashes to the ground next to you, and just goblets of orangey acid sort of like scorch on your skin.
My teal matador suit!
And Durindar, you're up.
The guy on my right looks to be a little bit worse for wear, so
Yeah.
I take another swing at him with my greatsword.
Skip your turn.
Oh,
Did I?
I was on a 20.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so Lysander go now. I don't know what's happened to this initiative. I'm very confused.
There's fog everywhere. It's just confusion. We've been attacked in the night. We've been sleeping. We don't know what's going on.
I don't know if it's
Garland's
probably because
processing
you,
betrayal.
it's probably because you threw Garland in there. It's probably just bugged out.
Okay, so Lysander go now, and then we'll
Okay.
go into Durindar.
I will. I guess I can hear kind of what's going on. So I will walk backwards here. So can I see where I'm going? I know I'm blinded, but
I mean, you can look at the floor and you can see the floor. You can see like a general 5 foot like if you were standing in fog, you can see your immediate surroundings, but you can't see very far.
Would it be a free action to vault over this wall down onto the stairs? Or is that part
I think it's fine. It's only like maybe a foot high, and the drop is like a few foot.
Yeah, so I'll move back and I'll... Huh!
Yeah.
So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Action hero Lysander.
I imagine you Naruto running at this point as well, with your cane.
Yeah. I can't get
He's just
that.
striding purposefully.
Can I see beyond the mist, or is it just literally, what is it, like 5 foot around?
Like I say, you are standing in the middle of fog. You can't see further than a few feet, can you? So that's what it's like right now. You can see shadows and you can hear sounds, but that's about it.
I will. I think I've heard Truffle going, my matador cape. So I will bone. I will action dash 5, 10, 15, 20.
You see, as you're
It's
coming
okay,
out, you
only
see
the
this
hair.
acid splashing across him.
Yeah, so I kind of like burst out of this fog and I'm like looking around. I'm like looking for Truffle. Like, are you okay, Truffle? And
It's
that's
just
the
for him. It's fine.
And then I'll that's the end of my turn.
Okay, back to Durandar. Apologies.
No, it's fine, mate. That's no problem. So I take a swing at this dude that I maimed a minute ago with my greatsword. However, I roll a 10.
So, I imagine that Durandar's, he's so distracted with all these things going on, he just can't, and the fog, and he just can't quite manage to connect. This thing, with the last of its strength, is just like, sort of like lurching out of the way of your blow.
Boom.
Anything else?
No,
Man, you need level 5, you need some extra attack action.
I know.
Yeah.
Garland's gonna circle around behind this guy and go for an advantageous punch.
Suplex.
He just seems to know that it's what he should do.
German suplex.
DDT.
He's gonna do a Chris Benoit triple suplex.
Oh yes, God.
Crack! You hear another crack as it runs around. Another smack into this creature, doing 4 bludgeoning damage.
Garland is bleeding up. We're just running around in fog.
And he has no class. He has no job. He is just a person who punches. That is what he does. You imagine if I gave him a class.
Dude, they made like 5 films out of Rocky. That's enough. Let's go.
Akane, you have 2 of these creatures in front of you. What do you do?
Okay, so I guess the first one's hit me and just taken away most of my armor. I'm like curious, and then the other one hit me, so I'm starting to pick up. They can see in the dark now. I think I've heard as well. Kind of Truffle skitter behind me is scared, and kind of I heard a purposeful stride as well, which I know is a Lysander. So the first thing I'm going to do is shout to them both. Take out the wizard. He's creating the fog. I think what I'm then going to do is summon this energy back into me, and I'm going to try and attempt Circle of Sorrow. Now I think I'm too close to my allies. I need to be 10 foot away. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to move 5 foot. Is that right? I need to be 10 foot
So what's
away.
the radius of it? Is it 5
It's
foot?
5 foot. It's 5 foot radius.
So
but
I think my meaning is that in the where you are right now, you could do it. So basically, it's saying that if you are adjacent to your allies, you can't do it, but you can
Okay,
do it
right.
right now.
So if we could put that music back on, because I was totally feeling that when I was... Oh, do you know what? This works for me. So I just get this smile across my face. Kind of, I know the battle's turning in our favour. I've heard 2 of my allies skitter across. I can just hear Garland and Durandar kicking ass in the corner. So I raise my shield up, and like all of the white mist just gets summoned into my umbrella. I slam it into the ground, and it cracks open the ground, and this fissure of energy just gets released in like kind of a 10-degree diameter around me. And I think to start with, it just settles, and this mist comes up, and then the mist just hardens into this bright energy, which obviously I'm resistant against because it's my crystalline energy. And these guys just get fried in the doom of Circle of Sil'ora. DC 15 Constitution save. With 10
Constitution
psychic
saves. Okay. Sorry, I'm just fixing the stream map. They are. It's this guy. It's Constitution. It's a 12. that guy is an 11. They both fail. So that's 10 psychic damage.
Yep.
Oh, he's got Bane anyway, so he definitely would have failed. So yeah, it's like this ring of bright white light sort of smashes through the fog and rises up around these creatures, and you hear almost like a screech coming from them, which I'm not going to try and emulate. From these strange insectoid creatures. Yeah, and they're just like, sort of like, don't quite know how to react to this sudden burst of energy from this woman wielding a giant umbrella.
Who does?
Nobody does.
And that's the end of my go. But like, I give it a quick wink as like as the kind of energy settles down, I'm like, let's go, boys. And I just get ready, back into fighting stance. End of my turn.
Okay. So who's next? This guy will once again shoot with a crossbow at... Who can he see?
I thought the gate was locked.
Oh, you barred it, didn't you? That's right.
Yeah.
So they can't see anymore. So they won't do anything. But this guy... So you see, after he recovers from this blast of light, you see him reach around into a pouch, and he pulls out something small and round, and he chucks it, and it rolls between your legs. And
I look down.
yeah, and you three there, I want you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Is it area effect?
As this
That's
this thing explodes and a rain of these spikes starts shooting out.
Oh god, it's nail bombed us.
So-
20 on my deck save.
And so I've
13 on mine.
got Shield Master. So if you're subjected to no effect, which allows you to make a dexterity save for half. Is it half damage?
If he
What's that?
saves, is it half damage?
Sorry, you lost me.
So I've got Shield Master, which gives me a few options when it comes to dexterity saving throws. I either avoid it completely if it's half damage, or if it's not, I can have my AC bonus to it.
Only if it targets you for the second one.
Oh!
So if you fail, you take half damage. If you save, you take no damage. If I recall correctly.
Well, for
No, if you fail, you take full damage. If you save, and you can take half damage, you take no damage.
Okay.
So just so you know, during that, I'm using cutting words for myself during that attack. To use a bardic inspiration die to add on an additional 4, so that my number is 17 now.
Okay.
So that's Shield Master. I'm happy to do whatever.
Can you
whatever,
roll the save
Roll-
throw, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you saved.
Natty 20.
20.
So if you would have taken half damage, you can use your action to take no damage. That's just what Ad said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take no damage. You see this thing running, and you turn, you slam your shield down, and this rain of spikes thuds into it. Truffle somehow inspires himself. He feels the power of the flute at his side. Yeah, and he just sort of like he sees their flames, almost like in Matrix slow motion, dodges through these spikes. And Lysander sees it coming and just steps away casually.
Whoa.
Still half damage, is that right?
Yeah, you take half damage, or Akane takes none. So you guys take 3 damage.
Oh!
There's a few of these spikes, like maybe hit you in the arm or leg or something.
My Matador cape!
My P-trays!
I imagine Arcana had like almost like dumped her shield on it and almost sprayed these things outwards and
Yeah,
like,
and made it worse.
redirected them out into Lysander and Trouble a bit like, oops.
Oh dear. What a jape. Right. That is his turn over, and I believe it is Truffle next.
Truffle is going to shoot the magician.
Yes.
Do it.
Take that, magician. Oh, yeah.
That's some
That's
crossbow.
gonna
That's a nine.
miss. That's gonna miss.
That's a miss.
Is
Can I
anything?
use a
Are you
reaction?
doing anything?
Oh wait, can I use my keepsake flute to use? To use bardic inspiration as my bonus, which my keepsake flute. So I'll use a bardic inspiration dice to popping these bad boys out like nobody's business to increase it by 4.
So that's 13, and his AC is 15. I'm afraid. So,
Ah!
so even you feel the power of the flute at your side, and you just feel it inspiring you, but it just can't quite connect. Maybe with all these spikes sticking into you, you can't quite focus.
You need to summon the dragon lord, man.
Yeah. That is it. That's my action and bonus.
Okay.
Swing
You
and a
got
miss.
a fighter who is going to try and attack Garland. Just double punched him. He's going to go, but Garland just bats the sword aside like it's nothing. The next one can't see anything. Next one attacks Akane with his longsword. 21. That's 7 slashing damage.
That's 6. So that does 1 point of damage to my actual health pool.
I trust you to keep track of that stuff.
Yep.
And we're on to Lysander.
Now I'm finally here. I'm going to.
Aha.
I'm going to hit it with a black bolt. So I'm just going to fire.
Whom are you attacking?
Oh god, this guy up here, this idiot. 12.
This guy.
I'm like distracted by getting nail bombed.
You literally just got nail bombed.
Yeah, just flies into the air, just goes nowhere. Just like and then I will.
Anything else?
I'm gonna circle around here. And that's the end of my turn.
It's fighter.
Just a quick question. In terms of like those 6 seconds, are they consecutive? So if 2 people go, that's 12 seconds past, or does everyone kind of happen at the same time?
No, it's the
Each
turn
round
is
is
a
6.
concurrent 6 seconds, but the person at the top of the initiative is like the first one to act in those 6 seconds, sort of thing.
Oh, okay. So in one turn, let's say for example, kind of denial stance finishes after 60 seconds. That's 10 lots of everyone going.
10 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 rounds.
Cool.
Yes, exactly. So most fights it won't wear off, sort of thing.
Okay.
So where are
This
we?
one it won't.
Yeah, this guy's going to attack Durindar with the last of his strength, but he's too weak. Durindar just casually dances out of the way of his attack. And who's this guy? He
This is the music.
chants and he points his staff at Lysander and goes for an attack. What's the it's
I've got AC 17.
so that's the 13 with Bane. So something distracts it and it can't quite. There's Bane in its mind, and the bolt just flies wide and hits the wall next to you.
How dare you?
Durindar.
I need to finish this dude off, so I take another swing, but this time a really big swing.
Do it.
And nothing happens because I clicked the wrong button.
That is a hit.
So the 21, which I assume is a hit.
That is 100%. Yes.
100% a hit. And take him for 13 slashing damage.
Describe how you kill this thing.
I bury my sword so deep into him, there's no way that he could ever have survived.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus, this huge sword just rams it through its chest.
So deep.
All the way to the hilt.
Pull it out.
Ah! He literally has to put his foot on the thing and just like pull his yank his sword out.
Yeah.
And it's just like a
And then I just
lifeless,
kick him away.
lifeless husk just rolls away.
And I stay where I am.
Cool. Garland goes
Do it,
for another
Garland.
punch. Do it, Garland!
Oh, punching in.
BAM! And as you finish yanking your sword free, and you turn back to face the other one, you see Garland just smash its head in his fist, and it just crumples to the ground. And he just looks up at you, wordless, shakes the gore off his fist. Akane.
So she's literally just fried these two, and kind of the nail bomb. I think the guy that threw the nail bomb between her. I think she kind of brings her shield up off the spikes and just like cocks it, it like lands with the pole on the ground, like just under her foot, and just like just gives a cheeky smile as all this energy kind of rises through her, comes off her skin, funnels its way up this kind of rod, and unleashes in a charged shield attack. 18.
Which one are you attacking?
Who rolled I think the one in front of me, right? Who rolled the nail bomb?
This guy. This guy, he seems like he's got, you know, some more ornate armor. He's got like a big like shield as well.
Yeah, let's fuck him up. Let's take down the big boy. So yeah, it's an 18. Is that with disadvantage because I'm in the fog?
Yes.
So 13.
Unfortunately, he doesn't hit.
So yeah, I imagine kind of as I kind of wheel it round, I've just disorientated, arcing it kind of through 180, and I just fire off into the air. This kind of like 15-foot cone of just like energy, missing. And that's the end of my go.
Okay. These guys can't see, so that guy is gonna do stuff. Excuse me. What's he gonna do?
Give up.
Not much he can do. He's just gonna keep attacking you with his longsword. It's a 17, which I believe does not hit.
Nope.
So yeah, you just, having blasted this thing, you just easily angle your shield up, deflect his blow aside. Truffle, you're up next.
Truffle, to this music, is gonna do a backflip off this and shoot.
Truffle's gonna do an acrobatics check.
Yeah, he is.
Go on, Truffle.
Does a sweet acrobatics backflip. There's a 10.
He doesn't particularly do a very good one, but he doesn't hurt himself.
Yes!
Truffle! And takes a shot.
He sort of fumbles.
As he fumbles.
You know, like when you try and do a cartwheel, but you're so out of shape, you just kind of do like a flop to the side.
Truffle does a forward roll off the the ledge. Yeah, sideways roll. Takes a shot out wizard pants for a 25.
That hits, finally.
No, that's a dirty 25.
It's a dirty 20.
Interrupts his concentration.
And takes 5 piercing damage. I will also use Fury of the Small to bump that up to 9 damage on wizard.
9 Damagios. Okay, let me do the con save. So he remains concentration on the fog cloud.
Shit.
But he takes 9 damage.
Bonus action, dust myself off.
Okay, can't do anything. And this guy is going to, once again, repeatedly attack Akane. That's an 18.
That's a hit.
So that's 7 slashing damage against Akane. As these two in front of you, just like they're ducking and weaving between each other, just repeatedly striking at you with these huge, craggy longswords.
It's so cool, and I'm like kind of blocking some of his shields. My kind of white mist denial stance is taking some damage.
And all you can really see is like these shadows, and you're just like trying to deflect them away.
Oh, like, you know, like the movies where like they're in the fog and it's like flashing like lightsaber battle. This is like so anime in my head right now. This is epic.
Lysander, you're up.
How high up is this cliff?
Like 8-10 feet.
So could I scramble up there with, is it movement, athletics check?
Yeah, I mean I'd say you could do it with just half speed.
Okay, so I'm going to be like, I'm getting annoyed at my black bolt. I'm getting really annoyed and I'm angry. So I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, like kind of run, scramble up this thing, and as I get to the top, I'm just going to baseball bat swinging with my cane.
Holy shit! Did not expect that. Oh my god! Yes!
And he gets hit well. So
Barbarian. Oh no!
10 bludgeoning for the cane.
you whack him with this thing, and he literally stumbles and like almost drops his weapon, and he's like on his knee, and like, ugh. Masada, you're like, what?
Stop hurting my friends! Do you need to make a concentration check? Well,
He does, yes. Maintains the concentration on the fog cloud.
Oh, he's still alive? What a jerk.
Yeah, it's 10 or half of the damage, isn't it? I believe. So yeah, the fog cloud remains, but you hear, probably all of you hear this crack as Lysander's cane smacks into this thing's shell and cracks through it.
I hit him with the silver pommel end.
Is it a skull? It's a skull, isn't
It's
it?
not. It's actually. It's I think I described it previously. It's like silver octopus tentacles.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
I imagine as well, like, Lysander was deciding whether or not to get his, like, white collar or whatever dirty scrambling up this cliff, and he's like, do you know what? Fuck it. Like,
Fuck this!
Right, that's it. End of my turn.
Someone misses Jenkins badly.
Really
Miss
does.
Jenkins.
is this misdirected pain from Jenkins and
Keep beating him.
Okay, so then it is. Oh, it's the mage's turn, and he is going to whack you back with his staff.
Good luck.
It's a staff off.
Oh, but he's unable to connect. He's clearly reeling from Lysander's huge baseball swing, and he just sort of like feebly,
Step to the side.
yeah.
Oh shit, son! It's a dueling cane off.
The mages are whacking each other with their sticks.
Like two blind people fighting each other.
Oh my god! It's like Gandalf and Saruman, just like. Drunda, you're up.
Having finished off these guys, I turned around and I saw shortly ago a bright flash of light and two shadows next to it. I realised who it was, and I was like, oh god, no! And I run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, I get to here and raise my greatsword above my head, and I lunge up in the air and come down on this guy's head. So I'm kind of here by now, and I attack this guy who I'd love to ping, but I don't know how to do it, so I won't do that.
Just hold it.
Oh, cool. Ah, I love it. So yeah, I ping him with my. No, I don't ping him with my greatsword. I smack him over the head with my greatsword. But having
But that
in the air,
is advantageous.
I miss it by a hair.
No, you hit him because you have advantage because you're flanking.
Excellent.
Yes.
Then I hit him for
Points.
Oh.
13 flapping damage.
I'm gonna say that you don't even expect yourself to hit this as you're coming out of the fog, and you jump out and you just literally cleave this thing in half. Your humongous sword, and Akana, you see one of the shadows just
Fall apart.
and then for a second the fog dissipates, and you just see this Durindal with his sword like that.
And he's so sexy.
Oh, covered in blood. I'm like, oh.
And oil.
What colour is their blood?
Oh, I'd say it's probably quite dark and maybe purplish.
Oh, sick.
Viscous.
Icarus.
And of course my head is looking at the floor at this point because my greatsword has gone straight through this ant thing into the ground, and I just
Nice.
Oh, and I imagine like I've got a steady rhythm of like I imagine like a steady rhythm just keeping these both at bay, taking the occasional hit on my kind of like temporary armor, and all of a sudden one of them just like I expect to hit but it's not there. And I'm looking and like this guy also looks to the right,
Yeah.
and it's just you like shh, like wavy hair, kind of covered in purple eye cord, like
yeah, there's a high wind, so it's kind of
Nice. Very nice.
Good thing you cast geothermal druid cast, whatever it was.
Yeah, I checked the weather so that I would make sure that my hair was flowing during the battle.
I knew the wind was coming. Okay. Anything else from Durindar for his epic kill?
No, I don't have any more movement. I stay where I am, looking proud.
Nice.
Bonus action wink.
Garland's going to come up behind this thing. Actually, he's going to go here so that he can actually see what he's doing. And go for a smackadoodle. Bonk.
Jesus,
Garland. Garland's on it.
Yeah, and I kind of you also see this thing stumble forwards, and a shadow of Garland's cracking it in the back with his fist.
Nice.
And it's your turn. What do you?
So I'm going to try and prime myself for. Do you know what? I'm just going to shield bash it as it goes forward. I just know that we've got it blocked now between like 3 kind of melee warriors. So I try to be cool, and that's what happens. I think I can't get my shield up in time. It gets caught on a rock, or
These things happen.
Oh, Joe's frozen. Oh,
Natural one
no,
made him
back.
freeze.
Natural one in
I'm
real
back.
life.
You look like you were dabbing.
So yeah, I think I go to shield bash it, right? Kind of, I imagine we'll just kind of bat this thing between all of us, and I fluff it.
So yeah, the thing is still remains. That guy can't see. Which I'm going to say these guys are probably at the door now, trying to break through, but they haven't yet. So this guy is now surrounded. And what's he going to do? I don't know. He's going to take one more of these things out of his pouch and just chuck it on the ground in
Oh
front of
no!
him. And so the 3 Akane, Durindar, Garland make dexterity saves.
Eee.
No.
I have advantage on dexterity saving
You do.
throws
You have danger sense.
against effects I can see.
Danger sense.
Danger!
So I don't know what that means. It means I don't take any damage. Hooray!
I mean, you still need to make a save. Where's your save? Yeah.
What do I press? What do I press?
Dexterity in the saving throws.
Dexterity.
Yeah.
Okay, so Akane fails and the other 2 save. So, oh no, it's 2d4. So that's 6. So Garland and Durindar take 3 piercing damage. Obviously you got resistance. Akane, you take 6 piercing damage and you're poisoned.
Oh!
As you feel one of these spikes hit you, and you're like, you feel this burning in your veins.
So imagine like it wiped out my 5 points, and I got my rival resilience. So I kind of thought I was okay, and I'm like, ha.
Just
then all
one
of a sudden,
stray
like,
one hits you in the arm or something.
And you know when you kind of like been stung or something like that by a bug, and you're like, nah, it's fine. Actually,
I get
that's a bit
really
warm.
angry about this, and
Yeah.
I take a reaction to make an attack using Sentinel Feet against this dude who's just thrown this ball of nails on the floor.
Shit. Just accidentally exited the game.
And I make an attack, but I'm not sure. It's a 13. I don't know what that does.
13. Does not hit, I'm afraid.
But I was so angry that I missed.
I'm just so angry.
Yeah.
You take a fury, you take this huge swing, but just like you can't quite gauge the distance in the fog, and you don't quite connect.
But Ant-Man's hair is 3 inches shorter.
He doesn't have any hair. But if he did, it would be so short right now.
It would be so short.
Bug lashes.
Lashes.
Bug lashes.
Truffle.
Maybe form with it.
Shot with a crossbow at the bell and on the Paul Daniels and at the top. That's a 14, and I will use another bardic flute, my old flute loot.
Oh, God.
Don't you get one a day on that?
How many do you get?
Bardic inspiration, as many as my.
Oh, your regular
chari-
bardic inspiration.
My
yeah.
charisma, yeah. It's part of the flute thing you gave me.
The
And that
flute thing
bumps
you
it
get
up.
once a day, right? But your regular bardic, you get charisma bonus.
Correct.
Uses.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's 17 to hit, which does hit.
And that is a 7 piercing damage to the windpipe.
So you're taking aim with this thing, and you feel like you're just about to go wide, but then something in your mind tells you, and you just correct at the last second, and you see this just hit it in the side of the head, and for a second it twitches, and then it just stops moving and drops its staff, flops down to the floor at Lysander's feet,
Flick shot. Nice.
and the fog cloud dissipates.
Oh, this motherfucker is going down now. I think I just nod at Truffle.
I nod back. Not entirely sure why. But I nod.
And these guys, knowing somehow that their cause is lost, skitter off. Lysander.
Oh yeah, boy.
I will, seeing this thing has died, I'll just, I'll bonus action move the hex from that over to this one.
Okay.
And then I will Black Bolt it. Ah, come on!
We should capture him.
Should have hit him with the cane. That's a 10. That's
Oh, your black bolts are just like the unluckiest thing.
what is right? Every time I take Eldritch Goddamn Blast, it doesn't hit.
I like the opposite of Garland's punches.
I know. So yeah, I'm just like in a rage, just like like lash out, and it just.
It hits a carne for 11.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Durandar, you're gonna finish the job.
Yeah, Druindar decides that this metal is strong enough to finish the job. So he just moves down one, and then takes another swing with his greatsword
Oh, it hits.
for a hit of 8 plus 2, 10 slashing.
You hack into this thing and it like take a chunk out of its shoulder. It's black ichor like seeping down its front. It just like glares at you with its strange insectoid face.
I glare back with bear curiosity. And I mean bear as in like the Urban Dictionary version.
Bear.
You get me?
Fair curiosity, man. You get me?
Okay. Garland dances around behind it, deftly weaving in for a strike.
Dance through. Jesus,
Oh my
Garland.
god.
BAM!
List. How much?
He is a nothing. He has one attack, it is punch, and that is it.
Can we get him like a fake like handlebar mustache, so like, and some boxing?
And like a monocle.
How about you?
Yeah, it just Durandar hacks the thing on his shoulder, and then Garland just like goes on the back of its head, and it just there's this huge crack, chitin breaking, and it just sort of twitches, and then flops to the floor, defeated.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that is it. You have survived the attack.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Woo!
I will turn back to this thing on the floor and I will golf swing at it repeatedly.
Yeah, you just at first there's like chitin cracking, but then it's just like wet, ragged slaps as he's hitting it in the flesh.
I
I run over to him and I grab him and I pull him back and I say, "It's done."
And I just shrug you off and I just look at Truffle and I point at him with my staff and I was like, "Do you trust me yet?" And then I disappear. I disappear.
You
again.
disappear.
Invisible.
I'm done. I'm out.
Trouble just looks to Akane for help. Like,
That's all my spell slots.
I was like,
Worth it. Drama.
I was like, whoa. I mean, it's give him a
zone
nod.
of truth. No.
Give him a nod. Just give him a nod to cool off. He's gone through a lot recently. Wow. I mean, okay. So highlight everyone. Search the bodies. Let's get some intelligence on who these creatures are, where they're from. Don't let your guard down. You know, it might not be that we can kind of go to sleep just yet. We just need to figure out what's going on. So I would go over to the person I think that kind of was dropping these nail bombs, and I would check out.
Back in your turn.
I would check out. Yeah, I'll check out kind of these creatures. Do we know what they are? Are they a kind of familiar race in Liodos, or a beast?
Have I seen them before?
If anyone can make a history check if they want, anyone who's been around the block. I think Akane and Druidar might know.
Yeah, 19.
Okay.
19.
Yeah, well, you both got 19. You both have this. You've heard of them and maybe encountered them in the wilds before. They're called anticans, and they are basically ant-like humanoids. They supposedly have these burrow cities under the ground, and occasionally they come above to ambush unwary travellers, which seems to be what's happened to you here.
It seems to be what happened to them.
Yeah, and
The wrong group, man.
they have like a like a hive mind kind of intelligence, and they have they don't have eyes, so they don't need to see, but they sort of work together in packs to hunt. And they usually use like sort of heavy like forged metal weaponry. Like you see their swords they're not particularly well made, but they're big, heavy, long swords, and their shields are sort of a bit clunky but well protective.
So I think I would just relay this information back to the group. Like Antikins. Would I be expecting a second attack, or would I their hive mind would probably know that we're probably not easy prey now?
Yeah, I think probably you could assume that, especially since the other ones ran away, that this sort of message has filtered through, that this is not like an easy, you just come and kill them and take the stuff sort of thing. You guys are tough customers.
Yeah. So I think I would go over then to the gate, and I'd lift the wood off it, kick the gate back over, and turn to the group. He fancies a drink. And I think I'd go over to the barrel and just kind of fill up my skin. Take a big, well-deserved swig after that battle. I've got sweat. I can taste the salt in my mouth. That was difficult. It was fun. And it was fun. And I think Akane kind of got a little glint in her eye that she did have fun doing that, particularly when she was like toe-to-toe with those two Antikins at the same time.
Yeah, and I think in comparison to the fight you most recently had with that strange pale creature, it wasn't life-threatening, but it was certainly thrilling.
Yes, yeah, I felt that kind of. I think after they took a first couple of swings and they were just depleting my denial shield, my body shield, I was a bit like, yeah, these guys aren't, So I was having fun. I think I was testing new moves out, which is why I kind of missed quite a bit. But I had fun. Yeah, I look back at the group. The fire's still going. Riding a high.
Just go back to the fire, business as usual.
Take some s'mores.
Garland just goes and plops himself down the log. He's like, these battles keep coming for us.
I think Garland, as long as you're not the one to start it, and you're able to finish it, I think it's generally okay to live by that rule.
He's like looking at his fists covered in like this strange blood. He's like, why? Is this what I should be doing?
I think if what you were doing was protecting your friends from an ambush by people who sought to take our possessions and kill us, well then, yeah, I think everybody should be doing that.
I hope you are right, Akane. I hope you are right.
So look, I know what it's like to kind of doubt whether or not you should be fighting, but that was the right reason to fight. And I've been meaning to ask you, by the way, has any of this stuff kind of resurfaced any memories? Are you any clearer as to kind of why you were under that tree on the dust trail when we found you?
Sometimes, when we are in these fighting situations, my programming seems to take over, and I am able to fight, but I cannot remember anything. I am sorry.
Don't apologise. Just take this slowly. You know, kind of Truffle obviously really appreciates having you around instead of the rest of us. Don't push yourself to remember this stuff.
I feel like somewhere inside me, the old me still is there, but cut off. I do not know. Maybe in time.
Yeah, don't rush yourself. I think I put my hand on his shoulder and take a swig. I think I just sit and stare into the fire. Look at the other guys, Druindar. I guess Truffle. What are you guys doing?
I haven't. I've been wiping my sword clean on my furry pants and getting the grime off it. I'm quite precious. I mean, it's a bit of a nasty-looking sword, but it's one that I've been carrying for a long time. So I just take a bit of time to wipe it off and clean it up, put it back in the sheath, and then I walk back over to here and I lie on this. I try to lie, but it's in between two squares, so I can't. On this barrow thing, and I just lie back and look up.
And Truffle's probably just sat down and sort of focusing on just, you know, playing with his hands and playing with his like flute. Just not really head down. I was like, basically he's got a bit of a stern telling off from Lysander and Garland. He's a bit socially awkward around now, and because it's all a bit teenager who's gone off in a bit of a shouted back at his parents and probably knows he's in the wrong, but is a bit too proud to sidle on and say anything. So just gonna sit outside.
Awesome.
I think Akane would call over to Truffle. Truffle, come sit by the fire with the rest of us.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm cool. Don't worry about it. No, I'm fine, thanks.
I guess we're going to talk about the battle. You did some pretty cool stuff there. That was awesome how you flick shot that thing at the end. No, you didn't. Like, you took out the wizard that was kind of creating that fog cloud. That was awesome, little brother.
Lysander did it.
I mean, Lysander took a good crack. We worked well together as a team. And look, you know, he's just a little bit upset at the moment. There's a lot going on for him. Just let him process it, and he'll come and talk to you when he's ready.
I don't know if I want him to.
I think that will change. I think at the moment we've all just been battle, and it's been quite difficult. We're starting to get to know each other as well. I mean, I've got a fair few more years on this planet than you. Probably not Lysander, but you know, kind of this stuff always works out in the end. I guess right now everyone's just feeling a whole bunch of different emotions.
Okay.
So, Goblin Drinking Age, what is that?
Now.
I think I kind of root around in the back of our truck. I pop out. I kind of find a couple of clay mugs, a couple of Klagans, and I think I'll kind of pour Truffle a drink, and I'll go over and give it to him.
I'll take it, then nod, but still walk back to where he currently sitting. Still
Yeah,
not quite ready.
yeah, that's fine. And I think I'll pick up on that and just leave it. I think we're probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes of just chewing the fat, sitting against the fire. We'll probably need to retake watch and go to sleep, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would say as well to the group, look, let's take a couple of extra hours in the morning. Let's not rush. Let's make sure we're all well rested before we set out.
Yeah. I come back and join Kane by the fire and share stories and talk about the battle, and I mention about I had to tell Akane that I saw him trying out some new moves that were pretty sweet, but maybe a bit more practice.
Yeah, we talk about it, right? We break the moves down, we break down the structures, what they can flow into, what they can't flow into.
Watch some YouTube videos, like
Strats.
Yeah, just about, go talk. And I think that just kind of flows into old stories of past battles and various other kind of times where we thought we were nearly going to die and been ambushed and stuff like that, and just talk most of the night away, really.
While you're talking about your battle and what happened, Garland walks over to one of the dead things and picks up the longsword and just sort of picks it, hefts it, and he just sort of like casually swinging it like it's like as if you were holding it in two hands. He's just holding it in one, just like, this feels good.
And I kind of I nudge Durindar, and I'm like just like as in go kind of spar him a little bit. Just go.
Yeah, why not? I get up and I go and join him.
I'm just curious. I'm just watching this.
Yeah, and he just like looks at you curiously, and then he understands, sort of brings it up into some kind of awkward ready stance, and then you sort of start just trading some very, very light, sort of casual blows. You're easily knocking it aside, but it's clear that he's wielding this sword with ease. Maybe not with artful ease, but he's just sort of like casually, like with one arm, just like yeah at you. He's like, yeah, I feel like
someday we will understand why you are so readily able to pick up a sword and use it.
I don't know if I should be using weaponry like this. I do not know. All this fighting seems wrong to me. But if I can protect my friends, then maybe I should. What do you think, Durindar?
The world needs protecting. We must do all we can.
I understand.
To protect the good of this world.
I think after maybe an hour or so, Lysander will come out of his tent and just stand on this corner and just kind of look at everyone, and then fix his eyes on Truffle, and then just whisper to him in his mind, "Come and see me in my tent." And then I'll just turn around and go back to the tent.
And we don't hear any of this, right? So we're like, that was weird.
I believe it's telepathic, right?
Yeah, it's in telepathic. Yeah, it's only in Truffle's mind.
I think kind of we just keep carrying on, right? We're just kind of both imparting our
haven't even noticed.
Yeah, we're just probably both imparting our wisdom on Garland. We're trying to, right? Kind of. But we're both got probably conflicting ideologies and stuff, and we're just drinking and having fun. Well, I'm drinking. Do you drink?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Damn hippies.
Yeah, well, you're trying to teach him about chi and center of the universe and all that, and I'm like, no, just hack your enemies to bits.
He seems to appreciate Durindar's approach a bit more. You notice? He's like, yes, I agree.
We're talking about fortress echoes and kind of like galactic kind of energies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, but I could cut down my enemies with force.
Yeah. Metal and flesh, that's all you need to know.
It's like, I don't know if you guys have realised, but I'm literally shooting high-powered psychic energy from my umbrella, and nobody's asked me about this.
Guns like,
Yeah,
I punched an ant creature to death today. two of them, in fact.
You saved your friends. Okay, yeah. So I think we just like this is the sort of conversation I think just happening between us. I
It's
guess,
now gone to like Legolas and Gimli level.
I would expect to be aware of your umbrella and what it might be able to do based on our
I'm
time
aware of
together
your
previously. So
Yeah, no, I mean I did tell you a few things, but yeah, but I think this is the conversation, right? It's just kind of banter, pulling back, education, laughing, curiosity, and I think it's just friends having a good time. Garland, I think I suspect Garland knows what's going on, but he always holds back and like he's a bit too doesn't really understand it. But I think he understands more than he lets on.
yeah.
So Truffle, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Get to the plot of this story. Like we're all excited.
Get rid of this B plot shit.
Oh.
If you don't go over there, I'm gonna drive to where you live and beat you.
Truffle hops the fence and runs away. Truffle is going to, while this is going on, he's going to down the rest of his cup, and I'm going to stealth into the house. And by that, I don't mean I mean like he's going to just casually. He's learned over his years how to kind of just move silently and without drawing too much attention, and he's just gonna walk into the house.
He's on top, right, on the roof.
I'm on top, yeah.
Yeah, how do I get up there? Is there like a
You walked up the stairs.
Just stairs
Take the lift.
inside, yeah.
Up the stairs.
So I'm going up the stairs, and once he gets past all the people, the movement is slowed down quite significantly. And he walks, because then knocks on the flaps. He starts, and then he stops outside the tent flaps and just listens. Can I hear anything? I want to hear, see if no. Hello?
Come in.
And I go into I open the tent flap and step into the tent.
So it's like really nicely laid out. There's like lots of furs and blankets and stuff, and it's very soft. And he's got like a little, you know, he's got his stuff, and he's kind of just sat on the chair that Jenkins used to carry. So, what is it you wish to know about me?
So, I'm not the most observant of people, but I do tend to watch, and I pay attention to some things that other people don't necessarily. Now, I've been training to be a bard, and some of the things I've seen are not things I've read about or heard about, and you look different every day. And there's all this secrecy around hiding from people of an evening, and I don't think you're a bard, or at least I don't know. I get a feeling. I feel like I'm quite a good judge of character, and I believe in the worst in people more than I believe in the best in people, and that can serve me wrong in a lot of ways. But more than anything, the one thing that I feel that I have strength in is knowing when people are not telling the truth. And you saw what I did earlier. That wasn't for any of them. I feel like you're hiding something. And I don't know why. And I don't know what I've done. And whether it's even me. But who are you? Really?
Do it again.
I cast Zone of Truth.
I fail.
Are you really a bard?
No.
Do you have the best interest of the group?
I haven't always.
What do you want?
I'm looking for something.
Ooh, what? I'm sorry at that point. I can't help but go back to truffle. What are you looking for?
Book, I believe.
Why do you hide who you are?
What do you mean?
You look different every day. How do you do that? And why do you do that?
I kind of square myself up with truffle. And I just kind of close my eyes and then it might be easy to show you. And I drop my disguised self. And
what do you look like?
I look remarkably similar to regular Lysander, but the nose is crooked, the teeth are a little bit wonky, face isn't symmetrical, a little bit of a wart on one side. He is normal, borderline ugly.
Okay. I don't react as much.
He's got like kind of, instead of having this like pristine white hair, it's kind of dirty grey, dirty browny grey.
I think it's seeing that I nod, and I can understand why people don't always want to show the true versions of themselves. I get that. I won't tell anyone. The things you can do, can you teach me?
I can't.
Who can?
I talk to you in your mind. You can't ask that question. I'm sorry. It's for your own good.
Are you in trouble?
I sit back and put the disguised self back on. Darling Truffle, I'm always in trouble.
Well, I'm sorry. It was a mean trick. And I've done this before and it never works out. And I guess I don't trust people because people have given me a lot of reason not to trust them. But you know that, like, this group is the first kind of family that I've really had. And I don't want to lose it, but at the same time, I want everyone to know that I'd help them. So, if I continue to help you, and you continue to help me, that's enough for now. But I want you to know that I will tell you everything about myself, and I will be truthful with you until you feel like you can be 100% honest with me. Does that sound like a deal? Doesn't have to be now. But will you tell me the full story when you're ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I will try.
Okay. I'm sorry again. I miss
It's quite
Jenkins
alright.
too.
I miss him too.
With that, I leave. But oh, sorry.
I was just going to say the privacy. I can't do this while I'm asleep. Okay. So and I kind of gesture to a corner where there's like it's a mask, but it's like a silvered face of like it just like blank, featureless, like obviously nose and lips and stuff, but just like silver. So to hide my shame.
And then I point at the mask hanging down around my throat, the goblin mask that I tend to wear, and I nod. And if you want, I can help out from time to time to make it a little easier on you not having Jenkins. Just ask and I'll be happy to help.
I appreciate that, Truffle. Thank you.
And I back out of the tent.
I think we're having fun by the fire, right? It's like woo! You just hear this like clanging and kind of Durandar and the Garland is taking turns fighting, and like one of them wins, one of them doesn't. Durandar's letting Garland win. I'm like, kick his ass, Garland! I think we're just a bit drunk and rowdy and just having fun. So I don't really notice. I think kind of you coming out of 10.
And so Truffle comes in and sits near Garland and just looks at him and says,
They're fighting.
Are they fighting?
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
I will go and sit on that box and sit next to Akane.
Hey buddy, how's it going?
Yeah, I feel better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I asked those questions.
Oh look, I mean that was no worries. I knew what you were doing, and I'm happy to answer any questions you got. I think Durandar's the same. Lysander's a bit private, so he's always going to be like that. Give him time, and I think he'll warm up.
Have you done stuff with Durandar? You know what I mean.
Look, do you know what? Because I'm feeling pretty good with Won the Battle. I'll tell you the truth. The truth is, I have attempted it a few times, but he's holding out. I'm not sure if it's the right person or just completely. That's probably a question for him in the future. So yeah, I have tried, but he's never really kind of gone for it, so I stopped bothering. But he's hoping, right? And I kind of give him a quite a little wink.
Delightful.
And I pass my wineskin over to him.
I have a little swig and sit back a little bit. And do you think Garland will still want to be my friend after tomorrow?
Truffle, we're all your friend, and that hasn't changed. So you've got two options. You can keep kind of ruminating on it, or you can just trust that we'll always be there for each other and just carry on. Kind of only got one life, and I think yours is shorter than most. So how do you want to live the rest of that life? Worrying that your friends aren't your friends, or just being happy that there's the right people around you.
I suppose we've all got our own secrets, haven't we?
Oh yeah, I mean, let me tell you about the time I saw a spaceship, but let me sober up first.
Star wipe.
So yeah, I think maybe in the dying firelight, you got Truffle and Akane sitting on these crates, just having a little chat. In the background, you've got sparring as Durandar. You hear the clang of metal as they're sparring in the background, and the scene fades. Eventually, you all go to bed.
These are the credits rolling by.
Yes. Eventually, you all go to bed, and you get a full night's sleep with no other interruptions. And we'll pick up in the morning next time. You've had a long rest of the benefits thereof. And we'll pick up with your travels into the Witherbark Woods.
got all my spell slots back.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Ah,
My dice.
Smell those sweet spell slots.
1, 2.
spell slot. I'm done.
And I hate having 2 spell slots. It sucks ass.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the session, and anyone who's watching, I hope you also enjoyed. Thank you very much if you've been here, dropped by.
Thanks, y'all.
We will be back in a fortnight's time. It should be the 19th. Oh, that's the day before my exam.
Oh, which exam?
Business.
It's a fun accounting exam.
Joy.
So, we're back on the 19th, and we shall be back picking up with your journey into the Witherbark Woods, and we'll see what adventures await you within.
Thanks for all your support, guys.
Thank you very much, anyone who's watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace out.